Hello and welcome back to The Rising Dawn, A Merchant's Revenge. I'm R, your DM for this evening. Are we ready to go?
Yes, please.
Then let the adventure begin. We catch up with the Dawnbringers after their raid on the smuggler's stronghold turned sour at the discovery of it being entirely overgrown with rotting fungal plant life. The inhabitants inside already dead. Calling for help from their new ally Nestor, an agent of the secret-keeping organisation the Gorgon, the party entered the fortress and took on a horrible rotting troll and the spore-infected corpses of the smugglers. They tracked the source of the infection back to a package delivered to the smugglers' leader Ulfrin, sent from someone by the name of Noxian Arsino for the River Runner's betrayal after seemingly pulling out of a promised delivery of preserved organs. Exploring through the fortress, they faced traps and bizarre artifacts, as well as discovering a room where the smugglers seemed to have been tending to escaped slaves before helping them on their way. Documentation led the party to believe one of these escapees may well have been another of Sariel's clan members from Riven. Further evidence revealed that Lord von Kyberg, the ailing late lord of Firesse, was actually being poisoned. The note itself seemed to have been left by Sylvette, but using magic to speak with Ulfrin's spirit suggested otherwise. The party returned to Firesse to confront Sylvette and questioned her and her girlfriend Ingrid, until they were satisfied neither of them seemed to be involved. Frustrated to have more questions than answers, the Dawnbringers headed towards von Kyberg's manor estate to see if they could revive him from the supposed poisoning, only to find him laid out in his bed, already dead. Party. The aging, balding Lake Lord, Richard von Kyberg, lays before you in his bed covers, unmoving. He lays as if sleeping, a sleep mask over his eyes. The curtains are drawn and the hearth is unlit. The room is cold. The member of staff who showed you to the room is still waiting outside in the hall. What are you doing?
Going up to see, if he is definitely dead, and
And if so, how long has he been dead? Because everyone was acting fine.
Yeah.
Make a medicine check.
I will assist you with that.
Thank you.
By perusing this body.
19.
19. Okay. You check him over. He is ice cold to the touch. That's the first thing you notice, but you look over him and where his arms are laying flat against the bed covers, you can see some darker veins in his forearms. You move up to his face. You see his lips are slightly blue. Checking in his mouth, you find some yellowing on his tongue. And then you lift the sleep mask and find 2 copper pieces over his eyes.
For the ferryman?
And has rigor mortis completely set in?
The body seems like it's just passed.
Okay.
Maybe moments ago.
Is there any way to revive him?
You can make an Arcana check.
14.
14. You get an arcane aura from the coins over his eyes.
Take them off? See what they are?
You take them off and the arcane aura just drops completely. The body immediately starts to smell a little like it's been dead far longer.
He's been dead for a while. Someone's been preserving him.
There are clerical spells that can do such things.
The temple, then?
Potentially.
But why?
We should find out who came to see him last.
If the staff know about this, Ben sort of lowers his voice a little bit as he says that.
Yes, because if Landenberg's the only one coming in and out of here.
Let's find out who has been coming in and out of here, and who was the last to see him.
I guess I'm just going to give the room a quick check over as well.
Yes.
Wise. See if there's any correspondence or anything.
You search around the space and you find nothing in the way of correspondence. There is an attached ensuite sort of small bathroom, and the only thing you're able to turn up is a medicine bottle, which, on very brief inspection, contains a liquid that gives off sort of a slightly putrid smell. Very, very weak smell. Inspecting a little closer, you think maybe it's a greatly weakened poison based on the note you found supposedly written by Sylvette earlier. There are only 2 doses left in the bottle.
Small doses after a long amount of time.
Then we should speak to the staff.
Try and avoid raising suspicion as we do.
Maybe have someone at the door so that no one comes in or out from here. Tries to sabotage anything else.
That sounds like a plan.
Okay.
Let's talk to the person outside first.
You can head back to the door and poke your head out. You see that the maid who did lead you this way is now standing there looking slightly nervous.
Everything all right?
Yes, I was just wondering whether I should have let you in there, that's all.
Why?
Well, we've been instructed only to let the senior staff in to see the Lord, but the guards at the door said it was a matter of importance.
Who are the senior staff members?
There's a doctor, the Lord's doctor, Dr. Darlin, and Mr. Landenberg, and the head housekeeper.
Just the 3 of them?
Okay.
And have all 3 of them been going in and out quite regularly?
No one really tends to this corridor, so I don't know how regularly. Why?
Well, you'd think if the Lord was sick, someone would be
Looking
tending
after
to him.
Bringing him meals and such.
I'm sure they have done, I don't know how often.
Okay. Well, probably good to go and talk to some of them.
Is everything okay? I should report about this, you visiting.
To who?
The head of staff, I suppose.
Well, we're going to be seeing the head of staff ourselves, so I wouldn't worry about it.
Okay.
You're not in trouble or anything. Just go back to your job.
Who are you people? You see that this sort of young maid seems to be suddenly shaken up by the fact the guards ushered you inside quickly and instructed them to lead you upstairs, and is now like, what?
Valid.
We're the Dawnbringers. We take care of things.
Okay. The head of staff isn't in at the moment, she's away.
Landenberg then?
Or the doctor?
I suppose maybe they can be found closer to the temple, or I think the doctor lives somewhere in town. She doesn't really seem like perhaps the right person to ask such a personal question.
We'll have a look around, don't worry.
How long has the housekeeper been away?
A couple of days.
And how long are they going to be away?
I don't know, she's just, she's been taking some leave.
That's okay. Just interested. Thank you for your help.
Cassian's just going to pop back into the room and grab the medicine bottle and like cork it.
Okay.
Just to keep as evidence.
Yeah, you can definitely do that.
I'll keep the coins as well.
Yeah. So no one else here worth speaking to.
Apparently not.
But there's the temple and people in town.
Well, if it seems like some sort of clerical spell, the temple's not a bad place to start.
We need to go there anyway to
Yes.
despore ourselves.
Okay. You can sort of shuffle back out of the manor past the guards who sort of look you over and is like, did you find anything?
We really need to go and speak to some people who have a little bit more authority in the household.
Right, okay.
We didn't realise they wouldn't be in.
Okay, I hope that the Lord's going to be okay.
Keep him in your prayers.
Yes, definitely will do.
God.
How to tactfully put that?
Scoot away from the manor. Okay, let's get to the temple before anybody else gets back here and finds out we've been here.
Mm-hmm. Hey, at least if they do find him in that state, they know it wasn't us. That body's far too old.
Yes. You make your way back down through the town from this slightly raised up and ostentatious estate at the top of the hill, back down the path lined with evergreen trees, and into the colourful town of Firesse. You head down the eastern side of the river until you're approaching the Temple of Arathis, this twin-spired buildings with the green onion domes at the top that you can see from anywhere in the area. As you approach the Temple of Arathis, you see on the other side of the road in Poets Plaza a group of people gathering. You realise there's a number of guards amongst them, and something of a commotion starting. You realise fairly quickly, just stopping to sort of peer over the river, that this is happening outside Sylvette's house.
Oh no.
Are you crossing towards it?
When you say there's guards sort of in with a group of people, are the guards sort of blocking the people from getting in, or are they amongst the people?
It looks like the guards are outside the house and a small crowd of people passing by have stopped to watch.
Okay.
So the guards are there for Sylvette.
Can we hear, like, what's within the commotion? Is it...
Not from this side of the river.
Okay. Let's get a bit closer.
Okay, you can duck into the covered bridge, start moving across. As you cross to the other side of the river, you can see amongst the guards a stout, noble-looking dwarven man with tawny hair, bushy eyebrows, and a huge moustache and beard, as well as now 2 guards pulling Sylvette's hands behind her back, and more guards standing sentinel. You can see Ingrid in the doorway, just like hands up towards her mouth. Like, she didn't do anything.
What's going on here?
The guards sort of stop and turn, as does the dwarven man. You recognise the clothes of a high-up noble. You imagine you might be looking at Lord Dupont. One of the guards speaks on his behalf. It clears through. Not public business. Just taking somebody in.
What for?
Sylvette sees the group of you and is like, you can help me, right? I haven't done anything.
Detect thoughts.
On Sylvette.
Yep.
You hear immediately in her head, like, for God's sake, these people know that I've been framed. Surely they can get me out of this situation.
Detect thoughts. I'm going to swap it onto the noble-looking man.
You can hear in his head that he's like, this is such a fuss, honestly.
And what's all this about then?
Immediately in his thoughts, if I hadn't received that information earlier today, we never would have caught her. I'm sorry, are you friends of the lady?
We've been aiding her with some issues, yes.
But also, we're aware that she's being framed.
Framed?
Mm.
Okay. I'm willing to hear you out. Perhaps we should take this...
Inside.
Sort of... Looks like you're a little concerned with the aggressiveness of this tiefling who's just stepped up to him. You can hear in his thoughts as you talk that, like, he's willing to hear you out.
Okay.
He's simply retrieved a piece of information and is acting on it accordingly.
Cool.
The guards sort of move Sylvette inside, and you're ushered in as well. The rest of the guards kind of block off the square and try and start sending people on their way as they just watch.
Ushered back into her house.
Into her house, yeah.
Okay.
As you're ushered in, Dupont doesn't sit. He just stands in the living room, hands folded behind his back. I suppose then we should explain the situation. Information was retrieved earlier today, suggesting that Sylvette Marion has a hand in von Kaiberg's current sickness.
Where from?
It was delivered directly to me this afternoon. I assumed that if you were the people who've been working with her, I heard from one of my scouts that you were successful in sieging the keep.
Yes.
I figured the information may have come from you.
No.
We didn't pass anything on.
In fact, we found a similar piece of information in the keep, but upon questioning their leader, he has never heard of Sylvette Marion.
Well, I am a reasonable person. I was simply acting on what I'd heard.
That's understandable.
It's best I continue to have Miss Marion guarded until a time that everything is settled and proved.
I think that's agreeable, don't you, Sylvette?
Yes, I suppose so. I am somewhat concerned if There is someone spreading false information. Unfortunately, I don't have any more yet. But if somebody is playing a hand in the current Lord's sickness, then...
They need to be punished accordingly.
Quite right.
Listen, we have a lead on it that's been leading us towards the temple, so we thought we'd go question people there first.
That's very, very encouraging to hear. Thank you.
No problem.
And he will turn and he will instruct his guards to stay here with Sylvette. They like uncuff her and she's like, oh, sits down on the couch. It's just one thing after another, isn't it?
You're telling us.
Lord DuPont, would you wish to accompany us so that you may hear things with your own ears?
I believe that would be a good idea.
Then welcome aboard.
One of his guards and the Dwarven Lord himself will follow you out of the house. The rest of the guards will stay stationed outside Sylvette with their spears, just like preventing her from leaving, preventing any curious onlookers from getting too close.
Poke, poke.
Okay. We tried to go to the temple again.
Another thing catches your attention.
You head back across the bridge with the Lord, and on the way he asks you what is the nature of your relationship with Miss Marion.
Let's just say I've owed her a debt.
Right. Well then.
Are you vying to be the new leader of this town as well?
I certainly considered it.
It's a little bit suspect then that the moment you get the slightest bit of information you go and put one of your competitors in chains.
That's true.
I was acting accordingly for the good of the town, thank you very much. I'm just going to put a hand on Astra's shoulder and be like, Astra, careful what you say. Von Kaiberg has been a close personal friend of mine for quite a few years. I'm just trying to see things done right by his town.
We would also like to see things done right by this town.
I get that impression. I can tell good people when I speak to them.
Did he ever speak to you while he was... or while he has been suffering with this sickness?
During the sickness, no. Although, I'd say for about 5, coming on 6 years now, he was slowly deteriorating.
Mm-hmm.
When was the last time you had any correspondence from Von Kaiberg himself?
Maybe 8 months ago.
What did he say?
Just a simple update letter between friends.
Right.
You sure it was his writing?
I mean, I believe I was sure at the time, but thinking back on it now, I can't remember exactly what it looked like.
The plot chickens.
Plot chicken.
Sus. You cross the river back to the Temple of Arathis. You see this large and elegant building with a beautiful Baroque facade of grey stone columns and white plaster, around a dozen long rounded windows. Facing the river is a large central set of dark wood double doors, flanked by 2 sets of single doors on either side. Above the main doors is a solid gold church bell, and atop the 2 square towers sits these green, rounded domes, each with their thin golden spire embellished with the symbol of Arathis, a golden half gear with a star inside it. Stepping in through the main doors...
Sorry, just before we go in,
Okay.
I didn't get a chance to, while we were walking there, can I just ask DuPont if the correspondence that he got that made him suspicious of Sylvette also mentioned poison, or if it said something else?
Yes, it mentioned poison.
Okay.
Stepping in through the main doors, you're met with an incredibly ostentatious hall, which is unlike anything else that you've seen in Firesse. The domed ceiling is painted with elegant filigree ribbons and accented with gold leaf on flourish and several crystal chandeliers which throw a brilliant white arcane light over the room. Rows of pews flank the aisle, drawing the eye down to the nave and the high altar, which stand out against the white and gold in a brilliant red marble stucco. All in all, the temple is so extravagant, it's almost bordering on being an eyesore. A handful of acolytes in blue robes move through the space, attending a few people sat in the pews, their footsteps echoing through the chamber. Where do we want to start?
Suppose we should ask who's in charge or who has access to magic.
That's probably a good idea, before any of you can ask anything. DuPont is like,
Oh God.
and a couple of the acolytes look up and sort of, there's sort of a moment of recognition on their faces that a late lord is in the temple, and one of them hurries forward and is like, what can I help you with, Lord DuPont? He's like, my friends here would like to speak to you.
We'd like to know who working in this temple has access to magic, specifically that pertaining to different kinds of healing, the preserving of bodies, and like.
Oh, you'd want to speak to Greta.
Greta.
She's in the back. I
Brilliant.
can take you that way.
Thank you.
This sort of young acolyte leads you down to the back doors and through a set of doors into sort of the back offices, which are far less ostentatious than the worship room. And you're taken down to a single office of a cleric. She's waiting inside, sort of redhead in her late 30s, in one of these blue robes, a little bit more fancy than the acolytes. And the acolyte who led you here explains that you're here to speak to her about the magic.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, yes.
First off, do you have access to something that would rid disease from the system of an individual?
Certainly.
Would you mind just gracing all of us with such magic?
We provide the service for 40 gold pieces per person.
Easy enough. Dink. 40 gold.
You can each drop 40 gold on lesser restoration.
I'll just give 4 platinum pieces across.
You see DuPont's really bushy eyebrow just shoot up and like, oh!
This rude tiefling has platinum?
Better believe it.
And we are all restored.
Yeah, she sort of sits you all down and steps up to you and like anoints a little oil on your foreheads and then casts lesser restoration, and you just feel significantly healthier. Like, as it casts, whether something was happening to you or not, like any semblance of a cold or anything like that you might have had.
Oh my god, I want that.
Snuffed out.
I want that.
Now, what else can I do for you?
Sarah will pull out the 2 coins that were on von Kaiberg's eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering if you could tell us anything about these, like whether the temple uses them at all, or what they do.
Takes them and she just looks them over and she's like, is it just copper coins?
Might they have a spell put on them at all, like to preserve one who's passed this life?
No, but they are used. There is a spell called Gentle Repose, which uses these coins as a component, and it lasts until they're removed off a body's eyes.
And you wouldn't happen to know anyone who's enchanted coins in such a way as of late?
It wouldn't be enchanting. It wouldn't be a case of enchanting the coins. It would be a case of casting the spell personally in the presence of a body, and placing the coins as part of the spell casting.
How long does that spell last?
10 days.
And you can just sort of keep topping it up.
You can repeat it every 10 days.
For how long? Indefinitely?
As many times as you can afford to cast it, I suppose.
Do you have anyone here who can cast that?
Me, but I can't remember a time that I've cast it in the past 5 years.
Do I believe her?
Make an insight check.
Just in cases. 22.
Yep, she is being completely genuine.
Okay.
I could help you more if you could explain a little more about the situation. If you're suggesting someone from my temple has cast this spell.
Has anyone been to the von Kaiberg estate in the past few months? On the regular?
No member of the clerical sect has needed to attend the Kaiberg estate in quite a long time, due to a member of the clergy being hired there many years ago.
Who?
Mr. Landenberg?
So he's a member of the temple?
He was a cleric here in his youth. Lord von Kaiberg is a very religious man and insisted on having a clerical advisor who could guide him on matters of governance.
And how talented was he at the arcane arts?
Quite so.
Quite so. Brilliant.
Do you see much of him these days?
Occasionally for worship, but not so much.
And have you seen him lately?
Not particularly recently. I mean, he's been overseeing the running of Firesse from the town hall.
We have our heading.
DuPont's like, I would like to know a little more now about what's going on. Getting some serious suggestions out of what you're saying, but...
I mean, conspiratorial looks between the four of us. Are we all cool with just telling this man?
We've got to tell someone at some point, haven't we?
Von Kaiberg's dead. Has been for quite some time.
You see shock go through his face and then just like devastation.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
It seems he was being slowly fed this poison.
But not by Miss Marion.
No.
Like I said, the captain of the river runners, no idea who she was. Didn't even recognize the initials as someone else.
Then Landenberg it is.
Potentially. It seems he was being preserved.
That doesn't necessarily mean he killed him.
No, but that maybe he's the one been doing the preserving.
Does sound like it.
Mm-hmm.
Then we should go to the town hall.
But she did find that bottle in the bathroom.
Pulls out the murder weapon. Exhibit A.
And considering that was left in the Osprey's bathroom, I can only imagine people knew what it was, would know it was there.
And the maid said the doctor.
The doctor, the head of staff, and Landenberg were the only ones who tend to go in and out of that room.
And we were told by our friend the doctor won't speak.
No. Paid a lot of money not to speak.
So we need to find Landenberg and perhaps we can find this doctor.
I think they said the doctor lived near to the temple.
To the cleric, who's still sort of in there. Is this the attending doctor to the Lord?
Yes.
Dr. Darlin?
Yes.
Having heard this conversation, she looks a little torn about doing this, but she's like, I can give you his address.
That would be very helpful.
Grinchy smile.
And Greta, the cleric, is able to provide you with Dr. Darlin's address not 2 streets away from here.
Darling.
Darlin, then town hall, get all the facts before confrontation.
That sounds good. DuPont's like, I will go straight to the town hall and see if he's there, if I can prevent him from leaving.
That would be helpful.
Okay.
Right?
Do I trust that DuPont would do that and not help him out?
Make an insight check.
I'm just so suspicious right now that something's gonna go wrong. 22.
22. Yeah, he looks so entirely gutted at the news that his friend is dead, and you do get this genuine, like, honesty from this man regarding this entire situation.
Good to know.
Cool.
I will hurry to that then.
Don't let him suspect a thing.
Quite right. And DuPont will take his leave and sort of waddle off. He's quite a stout and sort of rotund man, and off he waddles. Right, to the doctor.
Star wipe.
And the cleric tells you that she will personally go to the manor to take a look over the body and see to any forward moving.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah, any forward moving needs in terms of burial and so on.
She can say that tell the guards that the Dawnbringers sent her.
God.
Quite right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
As we're walking towards the doctor's house, sort of say to the rest of the group,
What makes us think that he's going to talk to us when he hasn't spoken to anyone else?
That's a good point.
We can be very persuasive, Sariel.
Do we have any way of establishing the truth of it all, though?
Astra?
I could probably detect his thoughts.
Okay.
Okay.
I can probably try and push it a little deeper as well.
That sounds good then.
If you really want to give him a scare, we can always put in illusions.
And if nothing else, I am very, very comfortable threatening this person.
Oh yes. I think we all are.
Okay.
Okay. The sun is now setting.
Okay.
After spending the whole afternoon at the fortress, coming back to Sylvet, going up to the manor.
Running out of time to make this damn cow outfit.
Still top of the priority list, huh?
You move through the darkening streets and you find your way quickly to the house you were sent towards.
Mhm.
You find, once again, a rather over-the-top house, a little ostentatious, like the temple itself. You can knock on the door, and a stout half-dwarven man with sort of a short crop of black hair and a shaved beard comes to the door. He's wearing a small pair of spectacles and he sort of regards you with curiosity and no immediate understanding of who you are and what you're doing here.
Dr. Darlin,
That is I.
we have some questions for you if you wouldn't mind letting us in.
Regarding what?
Richard von Kaiberg.
I'm sorry, who are you people?
We're the Dawnbringers.
I'm sorry, it's quite late in the evening and I'm not expecting visitors.
Can I
so
see inside his house at all?
You can definitely glance in. It's fairly fancy looking.
Misty step.
He looks pretty rich, and you step inside and there is, not dissimilarly to von Kaiberg's manor, like a suit of armor,
Okay.
decorations that look like they're made out of therium, like large paintings. This man has money.
I'm just gonna come up behind him and pull the door open.
What on earth?
Thank you, Cassian.
That's alright. Listen, if you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to fear.
Just step backwards. You see him peering out the door and like he wants to call for the guards, but they're obviously not at the end of the bridge or
We'll
anything
shut the
now.
door.
This is absolutely ridiculous. You can't just break into my house.
We didn't. You opened the door.
He kind of backs away a little bit, looks you over. What do you want to know about von Kaiberg?
Who's been poisoning him?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Detect thoughts. My last spell slot.
You hear, for God's sake, Vandenberg.
Oh shit!
Vandenberg let it slip.
Did he now? Did he have to do that? No. Oh, I knew I couldn't trust that man.
It makes sense. He pays you off. He starts doing it slowly. Seems if he can frame some other people around town who are competing with him.
I mean, it makes sense. You can trust him, right?
He's like, yes, that sounds about right. He's like, yes, that sounds about right. And you hear in his head, I knew he was too soft-hearted to go through with this.
Might as well tell us everything.
I have no reason to tell you everything. I don't even know who you people are.
We know that Von Kaiberg's dead.
We know he's been dead for quite some time.
He's dead.
And you've been seeing to him, so you know he's dead.
So absolutely don't know that he's dead.
Inside check.
What's his thoughts?
Crap. Caught.
Ash is gonna get right into his space.
Oh no.
He's a short man, half-dwarven man. He's like, I guess like 5'1".
Crap. Caught.
How did you get into my head?
Easily. There's not much going on in there, is there? Now are you going to tell us the truth, or do I need to take it from you?
You hear in his head, thank you, I'm a very smart man.
No, I don't think you are a very smart man. So, am I going to take the truth from you, or are you going to give it to me?
Astra, he decks you.
Oh shit!
That's a crit.
Oh!
You take 8 points of bludgeoning damage as he just cracks Astra across the head, hitting you right in the injury on your skull.
Oh, God.
And he starts running for the door.
Get him, get him, get him,
Yeah,
get him,
get
get him. Yep.
I'd say the three of you move to get in the way, and you can draw weapons or just bar the corridor. And he's like, you can see he's absolutely panicked, and quite feral about it and considering breaking out. He's going to try and barge past you. That's a 16. If you're trying to stop him, make a strength check. I guess what as well.
Oh, 17!
Yeah, 17!
8.
Sariel and Astra just lunge forward and grab one of his wrists each and like drag him backwards into the room. It's like, okay, I can talk. I'll talk.
Don't make this any harder than it needs to be.
Where are you going to run to anyway? Straight into the arms of the guards? Murderer?
I didn't kill him myself.
Accomplice?
Take a seat.
Sits down. Fine. Not supposed to break confidentiality agreements.
Not
but
supposed to kill people.
Landenberg paid me a very large sum 3 years ago to perform a private surgery on von Kaiberg that would make the man more agreeable.
What kind of surgery?
Just a simple incision in the head.
Lobotomy! Oh my god! Christ!
You hear in his thoughts now,
Yeah.
he is just repeating what he's saying out loud in his head because he's aware that you read his mind before. So all he's thinking is exactly the words that he's saying.
Okay, make a Wiz 14 save.
14.
Oof, okay. Spell ends.
It doesn't end. He knows, he's aware that you're doing it now. Like, he felt that you tried to probe deeper into his thoughts and he looks at you like murderously.
My eyes flicker black at him.
It was a scheme that Landenberg came up with, and he's been paying me ever since to keep it quiet. It's a simple procedure with the aid of Landenberg's healing magic, very painless. It's a good decision for the town. The man was going stupid, crazy. Though if I'm honest with you, I think Landenberg's too soft-hearted. Cared too much about the old man.
Why?
He never stopped von Kaiberg having a say. Made a mess of everything. I don't care. I was getting enough money to live comfortably.
So at what point did he die? How long ago?
About a month. Nearly. Coming up on it.
Why preserve him all this time?
You'd have to ask Landenberg himself. All I know is that he wanted to keep it for just over a month and then he was going to announce that he was dead.
Do you have proof that Landenberg told you to do this?
No, of course not. I wasn't going to keep any documentation to that effect.
Just your own word.
Yes.
And you would testify?
Against Landenberg? In a heartbeat.
What do you know about Sylvette Marion?
I mean, what does anyone know about Sylvette Marion?
Was there anyone else in on this scheme of yours?
I know that Landenberg has a contact.
What sort of contact?
Somebody underground, I don't know who he speaks to. I don't care.
Do you have a sample of Landenberg's handwriting by any chance? Any letters that he's written you or checks?
If it's important, I suppose I can dig something out.
Yes, it is important.
Gets up from the sofa and like looks at all of you like you're going to grab him and make him sit down again. And walks over to a bureau and sort of leafs through the papers like, ugh. Eventually pulls out a piece of paper, brings it over, and it's just like an invoice from Landenberg for something else.
Okay. Can I compare that handwriting to the
It doesn't
note from
match.
It doesn't match. Okay.
And you're sure no one else knew about this? Just you, Landenberg, and this contact?
Potentially the head housekeeper.
The head housekeeper, I mean, she knows that Kaiberg is dead, but she agreed to keep it quiet.
What's her name?
Una.
Right. Useless. Seems we need to be talking to Landenberg then.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
Well, you can come with us then.
It looks like he's considering trying to run again.
Don't want you running elsewhere.
Quite well. then I suppose let's go.
Let's go, lads. To the town hall we
You
go.
don't mind walking in the middle of us, do you? For your protection, you see.
Of course.
Perfect.
Okay. You lead Dr. Darlin out of his house.
Nice friendly hand on his shoulder the entire time.
Yeah, I would like to walk behind him because I still have a misty step in me.
Oh.
So if he tries to run, I can bamf.
Okay. He does sort of watch different side streets and the river curiously while you walk him along. But the first slight sort of pulling off course, Cassian's hand on his shoulder, he just flinches back upright. He clearly doesn't have the guts to try and run again after you guys grabbed him before. And you can frog march him across the town. Back to the corn market to the town hall.
It's a frog.
As you reach the town hall, DuPont is coming out again.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I'm afraid he's not here.
Where is he then?
He's headed down to the docks to one of the warehouses. The woman inside said he had a meeting.
Okay.
Lead the way then.
Sort of DuPont looks at the doctor like,
He's coming with us.
okay.
I'm gonna reach into my bag and just pull out one of the lengths of rope and just pass it to Sariel, who stood behind him. Just probably easier.
Tie his hands together, I guess, behind his back.
If you want to keep him secure, why don't we put him in one of the cells inside the town hall?
Ah, lovely.
That's much easier.
You can continue your frog march inside, and with DuPont's presence here, like, nobody stops you as you're taken through to the cells, and you can just put Darlin in there.
Good.
DuPont is going to stay behind at the town hall and wait. He doesn't want to be a hindrance. He is a slow, old dwarven man.
Really, like, perfect debrief DuPont on what Darlin's been involved in.
Debrief DuPont.
Do brief DuPont.
He's just like, oh, lords above.
Oh, DuPont, we're really in it now.
And he tells you if you can apprehend Landenberg and bring him to the town hall, there will be a sizable reward.
Nice.
Yay.
Do you like a fanful reward?
And he sends the four of you out again to another part of the town. The four of you take off at a brisk pace and head straight down through the town directly towards the docks again. The receptionist in the town hall essentially is able to tell you it's like warehouse C, and you make your way towards it.
As we get closer, start being a bit more covert, like sneaking.
Okay. As you approach, make a stealth check.
Oh, piss.
11.
16.
3.
And a 13. Okay, we're not particularly covert. Cassian sneaks forward, everyone else blunders behind as you approach warehouse C, and you get up to the doors and push one of them gently. It's unlocked. You peer inside and you can see it's like one large room and then like another set of double doors which are slightly ajar, and another large room, and you can see a man standing in the second large room. He just appears to be waiting for something.
Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna like hold my fingers up to everyone for a sec, and then quietly cast disguise self to look like the doctor, and just
Sounds good.
Yeah. Like, looking at the man in the centre of the room, what does he look like?
Okay. You see a tall man, mid-30s maybe, flaxen hair that falls in gentle waves about his face, tied at the back of his neck. He looks pretty handsome, a strong jawline, high cheekbones, wearing fine clothing that buttons all the way up to his neck. He's carrying a long sword, and as you sort of get a little bit closer, you can see what might be a holy symbol like affixed to his jacket. You assume this is probably Landenberg.
Mm-hmm.
And he's standing, he's kind of like not staying still, just looking about himself.
Mhm.
He looks not nervous, but uncertain as he waits.
Okay. Cassian kind of mouths like, alone or prisoner, and gestures to himself into the disguise.
Alone.
Alone. We'll be right behind.
Okay. He'll go in looking, like, with the facade of looking incredibly nervous.
Mm-hmm.
While Cassian's doing that, I would like to look around as well, like look around the space for anyone else turning up.
Okay. I'll say you're keeping an eye out.
Yeah.
Okay. As you approach, the sounds of your footsteps, Lannibone sort of turns and then looks really confused. Dr. Darlin?
Hannenberg, people, they told me you'd be here. People are on to us.
What?
People have been to the house, they know.
You idiot.
Me?
I thought I was paying you not to speak.
I didn't speak. They found it out.
How? When nobody else knows.
They found a bottle in the bathroom. Took the coins off his eyes.
Right.
Well, what's the plan now?
Well, I am waiting to meet with M, so... I don't know what this is about. And he gestures into the back of the darkened room, and you see a half-finished iron golem.
Oh, shit!
No. Neither do I.
I don't know why you've come here. What's the point?
I just thought I'd let you know. Thought I maybe I owed you that.
Ooh.
Right. I mean, you're the one who should be freaking out, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty freaked.
Finally, one of your schemes catching up with you.
Well, you know how it is.
Message into Cassian's head, just tell him he's too soft-hearted.
Knew you were too soft-hearted to go through with it anyway. Care about the old man too much, don't you?
He just backhands you.
Christ! Everyone getting beat today. Literally.
Sorry. I'm stressed right now. I'm so done with this. I'm done with all of this. I don't want to play along with you anymore.
Right.
And I don't know what to do. So I thought I'd speak to M and find out what the plan is.
He's gonna drop his disguise. And just put his hands up. Sorry for the deception.
He just does the same. There's no effort to draw his sword or anything. Who are you?
Cassian, interested party. We spoke to the doctor earlier today and he insisted that this was all your idea, so I thought perhaps presenting myself as him would get the truth.
I think I recognize you. You're Sylvet's people, right?
We don't exactly belong to her or anything.
You actually make him laugh a little bit with that.
Friends, I think it's safe.
We'll come out.
All come out into the room. Look, I'm happy to talk, okay? I get it. You've caught everything out. I might as well tell you everything. I'm here waiting to speak to someone who I've never met face to face before, and I just got this note that asked me to come here, and there's this thing. And he just gestures up. You can now all see this half-finished iron golem. And I feel like any plans that I thought I was involved in are now just going completely off the rails.
We found blueprints for this thing in the smuggler's fort.
Who's
There's just an underground contact that I've had correspondence with via letter for years.
Pulling out the frame note.
Mhm.
Do you recognize this handwriting?
That's them.
Interesting.
The wife?
Ulfrin's wife.
Hmm.
Maybe.
It's the only person we've not met or found yet.
She definitely wasn't in the fortress.
No, we didn't find her body. It just begs the question what she has against M. Melissa.
Melissa?
Sylvette's first wife. The one who poisoned herself.
Poisoned herself.
That would be a perfectly good vested interest to not have her in charge of the town.
It definitely
You
would.
right?
And it was like Sylvette Marian's first wife, Melissa Stalingrad.
Yes.
As far as I was aware, she was dead, but
We had poisoned.
You heard that she drank poison.
that's what everybody knows. I mean,
And this is all to do with poison.
yeah, no, I'm on the same track here. Well, if it is her, she's supposedly showing up here, so
Would you recognize if it was her?
I think so. I mean, that was only 4 years ago. I saw her plenty of times.
We should probably hide.
Yes.
Sariel, make a perception check. In fact, everybody make a perception check. We're just waiting here.
It's cocked.
9.
Oh, crit, 23.
Good for you.
20, dirty.
As you sort of look around for where you might be able to hide, you two hear a clatter from the far end of the warehouse. Like, there's like another couple of side rooms off this large room, and you hear a clatter from one of them. You can run towards it and pull the door open, but there is an open back door, and by the time you've reached there, looking out of it, if there was someone in there, they're gone.
Check around the room.
It just seems to be a fishing warehouse that's not been used for fishing in maybe 2 years.
If it looks like someone's gone out the back door, Asher's going to go out the back door as well and just run and see if he can see anything going around.
And is it close enough to have eavesdropped on the conversation that we were just
Yes.
having? Okay.
You look around outside in the streets. There's the odd person milling around on the docks, but it doesn't look like anyone's fleeing. You couldn't be sure if it's any of these people.
Anyone like looking around like they've just seen someone running?
No. So, I suppose I should tell you the situation.
Please do.
I guess let me start at the beginning. Seeing as I suppose that's probably my contact disappearing. And Landenberg finds something to sit on and just sits there, pulls one leg up underneath him, and is like, you get the impression he's like, this is going to be the end for me. Might as well not lie.
Valid.
He explains to you that he was the son of a merchant, and he was an acolyte for a long time at the Temple of Arathis, until von Kaiberg crushed his father's business some 30 years ago. He put his father completely out of business and put the man on the streets. Vandenberg continued to grow up in the employ of the Temple of Arathis until von Kaiberg started seeking out a religious advisor, and Landenberg jumped at the chance. He used that to gain a foothold within von Kaiberg's estate and slowly climb the ladder, trying to find dirt on von Kaiberg for years because he was so upset by what had happened. But the man was just frustratingly nice and by the book, even to the point that the town was just flagging behind other Chase towns in prosperity. He explains, I was doing everything I could to improve Firesse, and I realised I was in this position where I could actually make a difference to that. Even though I was bitter and angry, I couldn't dislike this man as much as I wanted to. But there were things that he wouldn't do, like selling our best resource, so I started doing it against his wishes. And it didn't take long until Firesse was starting to prosper at last. Richard found out what I was doing, and he was kind about it. He asked me to stop, which I did. And this was about 15 years ago now. But the economy began to flag again. You could see Firesse was going downhill. So I tried to argue with him that we should be trading the Ferium. It used to be traded before the von Kyberg family took over the town. But the family line stopped it, and Richard never really properly explained why. I thought it was some sort of superstition or something like that. But I just went back to what I was doing. I couldn't stand watching Firesse go to the dogs, so I found myself an underground contact, and I began selling Ferium again. And then, about 5 years ago, Richard started deteriorating. Like, his mental state just started falling apart. He was losing his temper a lot. He started seeing hallucinations, locking himself up inside the house. I don't really understand why.
Out of nowhere.
Slowly, though, not one day on and then next day not. And he found out again that I'd gone back to the black market trading, and he was understandably angry, but he flew off the handle, just uncharacteristically angry, aggressive, violent. I didn't know what to do about it. I started looking for signs that he had changed in any way. I felt like I was dealing with a different man. I found a trail of money from him to somewhere in the town that looked like it had been going for decades, and I approached Dr. Dolan. I wanted to know if he could do anything to help me. And he told me he had an idea that would make Richard calm down.
The poison or
The operation.
The operation. I went along with it because I didn't see any reason not to, and then it made him, for lack of a better word, empty. He was just not Richard anymore. And I put up with this for a few years and tried my best to see if there was any way to get him back to himself, but there wasn't, so I know it's criminal. I started poisoning him slowly in doses that wouldn't hurt, because I didn't know how else to put him out of this half-life state he was living in.
Why preserve him for a month?
If he just keeled over, people were going to look at it and question it, and they would figure out he'd been poisoned. If he was getting sick and fell into a coma and then didn't come out of it again, that was a suggestion from this contact of mine, M, that it would be fairly easy just to pass control of the town over. If he passed naturally, all seems ridiculous now. And DuPont showing up with a will to execute put a complete spanner in that plan, obviously.
Did M ever have any other suggestions or gifts for this plan?
There was plenty of suggestion that there were more things we could do arcanely, and I just dismissed them, so I don't know if there was any other idea, any plan. But now there's this golem, and I don't know. I guess I'm just ready to turn myself in and get away from what I've done, because I didn't want any of this.
You have no idea where M would have fled to?
No. It's unfortunately the nature of an underground contact. I was aware that they were probably in league with the river runners, but...
Did they say why they wanted to meet now? After all this time? Why not just continue by correspondence?
Because something happened to the fortress. The news came to me this morning.
What did you hear?
This morning.
that the fortress had fallen, and that, in the words on M's last letter, and he will dig it out of his back pocket, things have to go into motion now. I don't know what it means.
We should probably get back to the estate. I just have a bad feeling.
Sure.
Okay.
I trust you.
I have a bad feeling that if you were here to meet her about something to do with Von Kaiberg, then maybe she's taking matters into her own hands.
Maybe, but I mean, he's dead. I can attest to that. I know exactly which day he died and what time. I sat with him.
Let's get you back to the town hall for now.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we should destroy what's left of this iron golem before it gets completed.
Yeah, we take a quick look at the iron golem. Like, I don't know what I'm looking for with it. Like,
We do have the blueprints for one.
Yeah.
yeah, but like, what do we do with it? Like,
Yeah, I mean, you can take a look at it, but unless you know what you are attempting to do.
no.
Destroy.
But like, is there any like paperwork with it to say where it's going, or
No,
like
nothing.
Okay.
It is just
Being made.
simply like a 3/4 finished iron golem.
Mhm.
It's got a few panels missing off it. It doesn't seem to be moving yet.
Mm-hmm. Like, the thing is, it could be used like against people, but then it could be used as like a defense mechanism for somewhere.
We have no idea.
We have nothing.
So do we destroy it? Do we leave it for now?
Well, we should tell the guard it's here, I suppose. Because we don't know where it's heading. It could be used to hurt people, but then it could be used as a defense for somewhere.
And it could be it could have been going via the smugglers, which is definitely not happening anymore.
Hmm.
Completely illegally. I don't know.
And just get one of the guards to come in and look after it for a bit.
Mm-hmm. So we'll take Landenberg back to the town hall, get some guards to come here and sort whatever this is out.
Benedict's like, I will get a guard. You take Landenberg to the town hall. I will find guards and bring them here, and then I'll meet you back in the town, okay?
Okay. We will take Landenberg back to the town hall.
Unlike Dr. Darlin, he just walks with you.
Mm-hmm.
There's no insinuation he's going to try and run anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Good pitch.
Mm-hmm.
And you make your way back once again to the town hall, where DuPont is waiting. If you plan to, you can put Landenberg in lockup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been good, but
He's also
also did a crime.
We'll give DuPont the information.
DuPont says that he will gather together the sort of heads of the different guilds and their contact for the trade alliance,
Mhm.
and they'll discuss what they can possibly do now.
And if they can find this M.
Yeah.
Mm.
And he says essentially he's going to give you a reward, 400 gold for the party.
Nice.
100 each.
You see that he'll probably give it to you in platinum.
nice.
Just 10 platinum each.
Yeah. Nice.
It doesn't seem to bother him at all to do it, he just seems to have it on his person.
Of course he bloody does.
Rich people.
And he says that, like, you have done plenty. They will take this now into the hands of the officials of the Shade Trade Alliance. Of the Shaste Trade Alliance, and they will take it from there as far as they can.
Guess when we're back outside again, so much of this just feels unfinished.
Yep. You're telling me. Everything's so messy.
That means they can stop guarding Sylvette's house at least.
True. Unless if it is her ex-wife. I don't know if Sylvette's going to be alright.
Then why didn't we go to the farm? The farm was where
She was from.
yeah. That's her brother. Maybe he's got information if that's what you think it is.
Maybe.
But would he tell us?
It's not long when you're waiting outside after doing all that. The Vanden comes back up to you again. It's like, everything good?
He's trying figure out what to do next.
10 platinum for Vanden.
Yeah.
Thank you. Asleep, maybe? I feel absolutely battered.
What kind of time is it now?
Like 10 o'clock?
Oh, Jesus, okay.
Oh, yeah, if it's night time then, yeah.
Yeah, like it was getting dark when you were heading to the temple. You then went to the town hall, the warehouse, went back, dealt with paperwork stuff, putting people in lockup. It's night.
I suppose we should go back to our rooms at the Golden Plume then. Actually sleep in them.
Get something to eat. We haven't eaten all day.
Definitely flagging. Okay. Let's just do that and maybe things will make more sense in the morning.
Maybe.
Yeah, so.
The party heads back to Poets Plaza. Back into the Golden Plume, which is dotted with people drinking and eating. You could speak to the tavern owner and take some plates up to your rooms. And all sort of gather in one room to eat and just decompress, sitting on the beds.
Cow outfit.
This has been quite the day.
I still don't feel any closer to knowing what's going on.
No,
Show how strong we were today, though.
we did.
For every trouble that fight was worth. Made it out the other side. For every strange little thing that cropped up, we've kept going. We found good information. We're working well together.
Pan's gonna shift and sit next to Astra and just lean against him.
Doesn't move away.
You're really shaken up again, I can tell. It
It
doesn't
happened.
feel good to get knocked down, but you're still here.
It happens.
Let's just sleep then. Otherwise we might just talk this thing round in circles and we're probably missing a piece or it's something that we can't do, at least not right now.
Right, to sleep it is.
Come on, Astra. I'm just gonna take Astra to the other room and leave you two in here.
Oh. Get under covers.
Stare at the ceiling.
Silence falls over you for a while. Do you talk or do you just sleep?
No, Cassian is going to spend 4 hours meditating to get a long rest, then wake up, spend an hour identifying the weird book that he found in the keep, and then the rest of the time is just cow, 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 cow.
Okay. The cow is very close to being finished.
Okay.
You spend an hour identifying this odd book, and at first you don't get any clear purpose for it. Towards the end of the hour, you have the pages open in front of you. Just a shimmer of magic down the inside spine, and a simple quill appears.
Oh no.
On the page, on the right hand side, 2 words appear. I wish. ...
Oh no.
As you come to understand it, you can, in a single use, complete the sentence.
I still have that vibe of like, I should hang on to this.
This is for you. This is not a magical item to hand off to anyone else in the group, should they need it. This is for you.
Oh no. Bad vibes.
Rancid.
Absolutely rancid.
Nothing that I wish for right now, so cow, 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 cow.
Rancid.
If the cow is done before waking up, there's another thing that I will do, but I am prioritizing the cow.
The cow will pretty much take you until the sun comes up,
Okay.
but it is finished.
And it's glorious.
The sun,
No!
roll a
This is my
percentile.
job that I've been doing for hundreds of years.
The sun rises, crests over the horizon, peeks in through the window, and Sariel, just as you wake up, you see Cassian with this finished cow carillon outfit, looking so pleased with himself.
It's like you're holding your firstborn.
Ew. But yes, it's marvelous. I'm sure Bolter will be very happy with it.
I can't believe you can corner a market.
Caurelon's going to be best in show.
We'll see.
You rouse for the morning. Astra, you and Vanden wake up after a quiet evening, and you wake to the sound of Vanden clearly dreaming again. And he sits up and he's just like, looks very tired still. Doesn't talk much in the morning.
That's fine. Can I have identified the dagger I found yesterday?
You can indeed. The dagger you can find in the managed equipment in D&D Beyond. It's a burning hand dagger.
Ooh.
It has 2 charges, which recharge at dawn, and you can use 1 charge to use the dagger to deal 1d6 fire damage.
Lovely.
In addition to this, anytime you hold the dagger to someone's exposed skin for a whole round's worth of time, it will deal 1d4 fire damage.
Ooh. Oh, hell yeah.
It doesn't require achievement. Has anyone else got anything they want to identify?
Oh yeah, I do want to identify the hair stuff.
The hair stuff is a 10 plus use powder,
Okay.
a single use of which will allow you to change your hair colour for 6 hours, slowly fading over the 7th hour.
Ooh. That's cool.
Simple arcane effect. You could just sprinkle it on your hair, all of your hair will change colour to whatever colour you want.
Pink hair Astra. Pink hair Astra.
You're onto something. Then there was a potion.
The potion, you will remember from Delphos days, is an instant comfort potion.
Oh my god!
The instant comfort potion, I believe, gives you advantage on concentration checks
Yeah, it's something
for a
like that.
single use.
Yeah. And is also just anti-anxiety.
Yeah.
Very valid.
Oh.
Okay. You meet up again, probably downstairs in the breakfast room of the Golden Plume in the morning. Very early still. You know you have to get the cow costume.
Cassian is probably just going to rush and deliver it and then come running back.
I know you wanted to potentially buy the hide armor at some point.
Yeah.
Did you want to do that now? And just say you grab it?
Yeah, I can just go grab it.
+1 hide armor, 90 gold.
+1 hide armor, BB.
Nice.
And you can do that like first thing, like first light, maybe even before Vanden and Astra come downstairs.
Yeah, pretty much.
So you've got your +1 hide, you've delivered your outfit, at which point Boulder, Leaf Darkdraft is like, thank you very much, and sort of grabs it and rushes towards wherever the cow is kept. And he says that the cow parade will start at 9:30 sharp.
Okay. And we will rush back and have our breakfast with the other two.
You can all meet back in the tavern breakfast room, have a nice hearty Swiss-style breakfast.
Finally cleaned up.
Finally cleaned up.
Yeah.
Doing a little bit better, feeling a bit more alive. And definitely any lingering aches have sort of eased off overnight.
Well, the cow parade starts at 9:30.
I suppose it'll just happen near us and we don't have to go anywhere.
I suppose so.
If anything, I suppose we'll hear it first.
Or smell it.
How's everyone feeling this morning?
Better for sleep.
Refreshed.
That was a long day.
It was a long day.
It really was, huh?
Well, I can't help feeling like it's kind of out of our hands for now. So maybe we should just try and enjoy ourselves today?
That'd be nice. We still haven't had proper fondue.
We haven't.
We haven't.
We haven't found an art gallery yet. And I'm sure this town has plenty to offer.
Well, let's find a nice place to sit and watch the cow parade first. Maybe we can take some food and make a little picnic of it.
That'd be nice.
That would be very, very nice.
Yes.
So you make your plans to gather up some picnic food and you head on out of the Golden Plume to run straight into Nestor.
Oh
God.
always.
He's sort of leaning against the statue in the middle of Poets Plaza and he's just...
Morning.
Just as you over to the statue.
As we're walking over, I'll say to the others, does anyone else feel like they're about to be told off?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I've heard about what you did yesterday. About Lundenburg and Dr. Dallin. And as I'm sure you were made aware by Lord DuPont, the Trade Alliance are sending over a representative, and they're going to choose a new Lake Lord for the town later this afternoon.
Okay.
Right.
I expect that this representative, her name is Louisa Trout, I expect that she'll find you at some point in the day and ask for your opinion.
Okay.
In fact, I almost guarantee it.
Okay.
Okay.
I suppose it's time to gather your thoughts.
We should discuss that while we're waiting for the cows.
Other than that, I hope that you're all okay.
You too.
You too.
I'm
Thank
fine.
you for your help yesterday, by the way. It's appreciated.
It's not exactly what I'm here for, but anytime.
Do you want to come join us for a drink while we watch the cows?
Completely irrational. I will likely see you again soon after the verdict.
Have a good day then. With whatever it is you do.
Watching us, amongst other things.
I do more than just watching you, thank you.
Thank you.
He'll tuck his hands into his pockets and just stroll off towards a random street in the town you haven't even been down.
One that we didn't even notice was there before.
Okay, as the early morning progresses, all of Firesse seems to be gathering in the streets to enjoy the forthcoming parade. Colourful bunches of flowers are now tied to every lamppost, hung in every doorway, with long lengths of ribbon in autumnal colours strung between storefronts and bridges, marking the parade route from a ranch in the east right to the centre of Poets Plaza. You're able to find yourselves like some seats outside the Golden Plume, sort of situate yourself down. There's general cheer and excitement in the air, people exchanging small gifts or baskets of harvest fruits and vegetables in what must be a local tradition. And vendors call out into the crowd, trying to sell their roasted hazelnuts and warm spiced milk. Others sell cups of dried leaves, which you quickly gather are to be thrown through the air like petals as the cows pass by.
Oh, buy one of each of everything.
Your attention is drawn in particular by the scent of something sweet and enticing wafting through the air. Eventually, you spot the source of the smell. You see a young female half-elf baker. She's wandering around with a tray of cupcakes and other treats. Very sweet-looking, a round face and light green eyes and pale freckled skin. Her pointy elf ears are mostly hidden in a cloud of brown curls. She's barely 5 foot, looks very curvy. And she's wearing a cherry red ruffled dress with multiple bows and little puff sleeves that looks almost like one of her cupcakes. She's very bubbly as she bounces around between the crowd, very, very cheerful, almost to the point where some people are like, okay, usher along.
Chill.
And she spots you looking and is like, would you like to buy a cupcake?
I'd love one, thank you.
Great, I sell cream cakes, strawberry cakes, fruit pies, chocolate cakes, lemon muffins.
You sell a lot. Strawberry cake, please.
Strawberry cake for you.
Lemon, please.
Lemon muffin.
How much is that?
A silver piece.
Thank you.
Can I get you anything?
Chocolate, please.
Chocolate. And Vanden will get a cream cake. And she's just like, are you looking forward to the cow parade?
Very much so.
Have you seen it before?
Never. We're new to the area.
It's really quite silly, but you know how local traditions go and everybody just gets really, really excited. And I don't know, it's just a time for enjoying the simplistic things in life and, you know, leaning on your friends and remembering the good things about the year.
Who'd have thought that cows could evoke so much?
Well, when your whole area is kind of all about the cows, this is the time of year that the cows come home, as such.
I mean, Sariel, are you sure you don't want to join the parade?
What are you trying to say?
Be the prettiest cow amongst them.
We've already given away the outfit you made, so...
The cupcake seller looks very...
No, she can turn into cows.
Eats cupcake.
How do they choose a winner?
It's actually quite a simple process. The announcer will move with the parade through the town, and everyone will come and gather here in Poets Plaza. And then the announcer will ask for a cheer from the crowd for each costume, and the loudest cheer wins the prize.
Vanden.
Not using the wand to cheat.
I'm not cheating a cow parade. It's local tradition.
Please.
If your work is good enough, you'll win. Do you not believe in yourself?
How dare you suggest such a thing?
Well then, just be confident that you're going to win, and we'll just have to be loud, non-arcanely.
I can do that.
I bet you can.
No performance enhancing cheers here.
And the baker is like, okay, I'm I'm going to move on, but if you need anything, I'll be around the square. My name is Shifra.
Move on.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Steve. It's been a pleasure to meet you.
Your cakes are delicious.
Thank you. I'll be here all day. She sort of bounces off with her cupcake dress swaying in the wind as she moves. It sort of gives an odd look back over her shoulder towards the group, like, oh, interesting.
Found some people weirder than me in town. What?
I want to see you cheering the loudest for your cow.
I'm going. Kind of like smacks you on the head a little bit. I'm going to.
Sorry, I can't keep a straight face about this.
No, it's nice to see you all smiling again.
Okay. The merriment continues, as if the events of the last couple of days hasn't happened at all. Until the ringing of a cowbell.
Cassian just moved.
That was me.
Until the ringing of a cowbell somewhere far up the path signifies the commencement of the parade. Parents pick up their small children and seat them on their shoulders, lining each side of the road all through the town like an aisle around the outsides of the ribbons. Slowly the ringing of the bell grows closer, and with it you can see the first of the cows. An announcer speaking loudly from somewhere amongst them. These ones at the front are led by their half-elven farmer, a stout man in a white shirt and cap walking with a stick to assist him, which he occasionally uses to keep the cows in line. Each of them is brown and white in patches, wearing a huge bell around their necks and a headpiece of autumnal leaves, wicker and flowers. Behind them, more farmers and more cows parade in a slow, plodding straight line, some of them skinny and muscular, some brown and some white, some with long and very fluffy fur and far curlier horns. The crowd scatters dried leaves over them as they pass by in excitement. All of them wear some semblance of a costume.
Oh yeah.
Based on the gods.
Oh my god.
You see at the very front of the parade, Cow Arathis, in a deep blue coat with golden cogs pointed on it, carrying a bag of scrolls. You see a cow decked out in vines and flowers woven through its long shaggy red fur, wearing a knitted shawl, who is announced to be, as you know to be Melora's circle cow, Mulora. A cow decked out in armour, carrying a battle axe around its neck. Announced as Magmovia. Yes! Calvandra and Moradin are less recognizable, as is the Moo Maiden Sayanine. And in a very bold move, one of the cows is announced as Asmodeus, god of tyranny. Finally, you see Cow Raylon in all her glory, this young, fluffy white cow in her tunic and blue cape, with Cassian's beautifully executed accessories and headdress. And leading her forwards is a sweet young dwarven girl in a green dress, beaming like she's never been happier in her entire life. And her father, Leaf Darkdraft, who smiles and waves at you.
I was gonna say, try to catch his eye to be like.
His long straight blonde hair like flowing behind him as he walks, and he gives you a massive wave and is like, that's them, to his daughter.
Wave at the girl like.
The cows gather in the central Poets Plaza Square for everyone to see. You now see across the river like along the barriers that stop people falling in, on all of the covered bridges. The town have all gathered and they're leaning forwards and waiting to cheer for their favourite cow. The announcer steps up to a podium which is brought out into Poets Plaza in front of the statue and once again introduces the cows in turn. He introduces first Moo Laura, Cow Arathis,
do that.
Cal Vandra, Magmubiat, Moo Redin, the Moo Maiden, Asmodeus gets a like, woo!
Confused.
And finally, Cal Raylon.
Whoa! He's very passionate about this. Really serious. Woo! I don't want to actually scream and
Whoa!
blow out the mic.
No, I'm just enjoying that being Cassian just
Whoa! Whoa!
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Okay. Let me find out who wins.
Who wins the cow contest?
There's so many times.
There's so many cows. Cow Raylon gets to roll at advantage because Cassian's a tailor. Okay. The loudest scream goes, understandably, to Cal Arathis.
Well,
And the winner comes out, the farmer comes out with Cal Arathis and has a big smile on his face as the announcer presents him with an oversized golden cowbell.
I think it was a bit rigged, honestly.
The people in this town have no taste.
You do notice, Cassian probably doesn't because he's so angry, that his is very, very finely made, beautifully detailed, would probably win at the V&A, but the other ones are kind of a lot more creative and extravagant and using materials that a tailor would never deign to use. The giant golden cowbell is presented, the farmer holds it up to another cheer and hangs it around Cal Arathis' neck. And then slowly the cows move past you, continuing their venture onwards to the other side of Firesse to show anyone who didn't get to see. The aisle made by the audience fills in as people wander around, returning to view stalls that are still peddling their wares or heading straight home. And that's it. The experience is over. The people seem cheerful and it's kind of totally bizarre. It's done. The Dawnbringers are left sort of standing where they had their table
Is that it?
as the town goes back to normal.
Huh.
Well,
Wow.
Alright.
Best of luck next time, buddy.
Well, I'm not
Are you sure? We can always teleport back here every year.
Vanden.
maybe next year you'll get to sofa Arathis
Right, how long are you all going to tease me about this?
Like, literally forever.
forever.
I don't think any of us are moving on from it.
As the crowd clears, the group is flagged down by someone who meets the description of Louisa Trubb, a short halfling woman with a severe and serious face and a straight posture. And with her is a taller man who introduces himself as Jean-Luc Weiss. He's a human man in his 30s with tan skin and dark eyes, short, neat dark hair starting to grey at the temples. He has a wide nose and a stubbled, harsh jawline. He speaks and he is very boring.
No!
He tells you that it's important to him and everybody else within the guilds that the right person is picked. And now the guilds are going to take a vote on who they want to be the next Lake Lord. Louise is like, yes, we received information suggesting it might be better if the Chase Trade Alliance take on the task of naming the Lord's successor. Honestly, everybody is very happy about this. Of course, it's devastating to hear about what's happened to Lord von Kyberg, but the nature of choosing a leader for one of the 13 Chase towns, it's a delicate matter. We've also been advised as to all the help you've given, and we've heard that your title as Dawnbringers has been spreading around the continent as incredibly helpful people who are worth trusting the opinions of. And well, the Chase Trade Alliance would like your aid in deciding who takes the title of Lake Lord next.
I think we've definitely got a few opinions on that.
We are looking to find out
Oh my god.
who the party thinks is most personable, business-minded, the strongest leader, someone carrying not so many scandals. We will take your opinion into account, and the heads of each guild will vote before the end of the day, announcing a successor before sunsets at 5:30.
Right.
I will be announcing the person who will be successor at 5:30 in Corn Market Square, and of course you're invited. This will be ahead of an official ceremony, of course, but if you would like to reach the town hall at any point in the day and provide your information to myself, I will be there in office.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We hope you enjoy your day.
You too.
And the two of them head off. Jean-Luc Weiss even seems to walk pouringly as he moves away. Sort of slightly hunched over.
Like a slug.
I feel like that man could make you go to sleep with his voice.
Just by being there, he could make you fall asleep.
There was no arcane aspect to his voice, it just was.
And not because it's peaceful, just
No.
because it's boring.
I've
Yes.
met lots of people like that before. Awful company.
It's actually shocking how many politicians are like that.
Yes.
Okay, well, I guess we have the day.
We should really figure out who we would recommend.
I have thoughts.
Me too.
Well, shall we... It's still early, shall we go somewhere? It's not really time for lunch yet.
No.
Enjoy our time and talk it over as we do. I've got some things I want to sell anyway.
Let's go lighten our load and then see to finding that art gallery or something.
That'd be nice. Okay. As for selling stuff, I believe I have a full list here of things people
Stuff
want
we
to
want
sell.
to sell.
So I'm just going to add it up. There's 3 bloodstones and 2 rubies and 5 topaz that we got between the fortress and Lone Rock. Vanden's going to sell his 2 Irani short swords from Shadeborn because what's the point?
Yeah.
You want to sell the dragon chest set, the wyvern hides,
Yes.
all 3 of them.
Yeah.
Cassian, you had a crystal you wanted to sell.
Yeah, an explorer's kit and some
Various gold items.
random golden trinkets.
I've got prices here for them that are standard. Is there anything you're doing to inflate these prices or bargain?
You.
I mean, I will try and talk up the price of the stuff that's like jewellery and gold because I know
Okay.
how to talk like that.
Make a persuasion check and add proficiency.
Again? Add my proficiency again?
Yes. Because you're proficient in persuasion, but this is also a separate proficiency for your
The merchant
your
stuff.
background,
Yes,
basically.
your proficiency bonus at the top. Oh good, you need it.
A natural one's a natural one.
Yeah, it's a fail.
Yeah.
You will get the standard price for all.
Okay. Would have had a +10 if I'd rolled anything else.
Oh, that's advantage of dwarves.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
advantage of dwarves.
Are we selling to a dwarf?
No. Okay, so I'll just give you... Cassian, it'll be 10 gold for crystal, 10 gold for the explorer's pack.
So 20 total.
And for the various gold items, you will get 100 gold.
So 120 total.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you.
That's for your specific stuff. Astra, you'll get 5 gold pieces for the dragon chest set.
Nice.
Ben will take 20 for the short swords. And then Sariel, you'll get 150 for the wyvern hides.
Ooh.
Nice.
And then of the gems, there is 450 gold for all of them for the group.
Nice.
So that's 100 and
112.
112 and 5 silver. And now you have rid yourselves of all of
Clutter.
that.
All of that clutter.
So you can also, without having to roleplay it, return to the Smith's Guild for Vanden's armour today
Yeah.
Yes.
and not get your deposit back as you return the busted up armour.
That's valid.
And then you can go onwards to find the Heron Gallery, which is not far beyond the Smith's Guild. It's sort of the other side of the road. You see a fieldstone turret-shaped sort of circular building with a small rectangular entrance jutting out forwards, set up a slight hill with a trailing path up to it. The building has several round windows around the sides. Entrance is 2 silver pieces per person.
Oh no.
I don't know if we
I
can
don't think we've
afford
got it. Sorry guys, we can't go in.
Bit tight in it.
Yeah.
You move inside. It's a beautiful gallery set in a series of circular rooms with the light coming in through the windows, and the acoustics in here are incredible. Sort of beams of light hitting from all sides, and all of these paintings fixed up on the round of the walls. You find a selection of beautiful artwork, in particular woven sculptures made of wicker by an Anna Weiss of Jean-Luc's family. They depict farmers in the fields, fishermen with their lines, and brewers at work. All of the artwork in here has price tags attached to it for purchase, if anyone wants to.
Yeah.
Nothing is cheap, as art is not a traditional skill, but everything can be bought. And you find your way through to a room full of paintings. Some incredible paintings depict the scenery of the chase through the seasons, huge cliffs, snow-capped mountains, pine forests, bright sunlight glistening off the beautiful lake waters. And then Astra, as vaguely suggested when you were speaking to Melora's circle, you find 2 paintings that you immediately know must have something to do with your father. One is an oil painting of Pilgrim's Rest Cottage at night, with an ocean of stars over it. And you find initialed in the corner, VC. It's titled on a little plaque next to it, Home. The one beside it is a painting of the twisted oak tree in the heart of the forest. Dappled light coming through the trees and all over the colourful symbols of Melora and the dedications hanging around it. In the corner it's initialed VE, and the little plaque beside it says Forever.
Oh.
And then just puts a hand on your shoulder and squeezes it a little bit. They're beautiful.
They really are. How much does like the price tag say on them?
150 each.
I'm just gonna sit and stare at them for a bit.
Whilst you do, the other 3 of us can sort of... There's like viewing benches scattered around the space as well. Just sit down close enough that Asher's in earshot while he thinks, and we should talk about who we're putting in charge of this town.
Yes.
So who else thinks that, aside from the slow mercy killing, Landenberg's still a pretty good option?
I'm glad you said it first, but
I agree.
I think the one problem that he has is the connection to smugglers, aside from the scandal, but publicly that could easily be pushed further onto the Doctor.
it definitely could. And I will be honest with you, in all of my years dealing with the ECC, smuggling and lake lords pretty much goes hand in hand.
But you know,
I know it's not the best thing, but von Kaiberg does really stick out as somebody unwilling to do it in this area.
But also, you know, who's pretty against it as well, and I think could still make a good leader here.
So that's true. We don't really know that much about the others, nor do we have any particular reason to choose them.
I mean, the compromise for letting Landenberg continue his rule here could be that he needs to work with Sylvette. Hopefully they'd balance each other out.
That's true.
They're both ambitious people who've come from nothing.
Both of them know the trade. And I mean, if Sylvette really is telling the truth that she's never lost a shipment to smugglers and never worked with them, she knows exactly what she's doing on the lake.
Exactly.
And he knows what he's doing in the town.
I think they'd work well together.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know whether the Trade Alliance would be willing to consider that as an option, but we can definitely put it forward.
Mm-hmm.
I think that sounds fair.
After all, we're not the ones making the decision, we're just giving our opinion.
No,
Exactly.
but they seem to care enough about our influence, which is a thing in itself.
Considering Astra came to find us this morning, I wouldn't be surprised if the Gorgon had a say in that decision.
Potentially. But it's something to be aware of for future places that we look to move towards. We're more likely to find now that wherever we go, there might be someone who already knows who we are.
Mm-hmm.
That can be a good or a bad thing.
Exactly.
Is everyone comfortable with that? With being so open about us as a group and potentially being heard about in other places before we get there?
Well, I don't know about comfortable, but I don't really think we have a choice.
You walk around with our symbol emblazoned on your armor all the time anyway.
I don't mind being recognised as a Dawnbringer, I just still have trepidations about being recognised as Vanden for. Not that I really know what that means anymore. It's probably a good thing. I mean, we keep saying that we don't know where we're heading and that things keep finding us, but having some influence to our presence is not gonna be... It's not gonna be more of a hindrance than it is a benefit.
It's
No.
definitely going to help with you.
Exactly. If enough towns are willing to vouch for the benefits of the Dawnbringers, then we're not immune to things, but people would want to protect us.
Grew up reading plenty of stories about groups of adventurers and heroes,
Like the Glass Hearts.
like the Glass Hearts and Mirrortail, the adventuring party who first found the area and settled there. I just didn't really equate us being one until now.
I think that's definitely the direction we're going in.
I like it.
Me too.
Helping people is nice.
Really feels like the right thing to do. Do you think you're going to buy them? Because I think you should.
I don't think I want to take them away from where his descendants can see them.
Why not sketch them quickly? So you've got a piece of them.
And then you have something to talk about when you get home.
Yeah. It sits cross-legged on the floor in sketches.
We'll give Astra some time to do that. What's your next?
Hi everyone, I'm B, and tomorrow I'm launching my very first Kickstarter, TTRPG Cutie Creatures, a series of hard enamel pins based on, well, creatures from TTRPGs. There are 10 designs in total to unlock, including fairy dragon, owlbears, chimeras, and many more. The Kickstarter launches on June 10th at 8 PM BST. So if you'd like to be notified about launch, head on over to the link that's down in the description and hit the notify me button. It'll let you know when everything goes live. Enjoy the rest of the episode. We love you.
Maybe depressed, but at least I have an iced coffee.
You're still depressed,
But I have an iced coffee.
but you're still depressed.
Okay, but I have an iced coffee.
I do my head talk, check my nails. Baby, how you feeling? Feeling overwhelmed.
Picking up some of the crystal. This is Twilight Quartz.
And then turns around from where he's just like opening a door. He's like, from the Underdark.
From the Underdark!
The Twilight Quartz. From the Underdark.
The The Twilight Quartz from the Underdark.
The Twilight Quartz from the Underdark.
Oh, the Underdark. The Twilight Quartz.
How did they get hold of it?
Hi. You guys are terrifying. You less so. You the most.
Good morning. It's time for the most critical meal of the day. Don't forget your daily dose of vitamin D and D. Nice.
My wife woke me up at 6 a.m. just to tell me that she doesn't love me anymore.
I said, let's go to the gym.
I don't understand why you're being so hateful.
Yeah, sits cross-legged on the floor and sketches.
We'll give Astra some time to do that. Where's you next? This is nice. Having no sort of forward-moving motion and just getting to enjoy a single day.
There was that fancier place that we didn't decide to stay in.
Villa Edelweiss?
Yes.
It was right out on the lake with the terrace.
Yes. Fancy hotels have fancy things.
He wants to go steal the soap.
I'm going to take all of their shampoo, put it in my bag.
I mean, if we have to return by the town hall to give him our verdict, maybe we can find out.
If there's anything interesting there, like a spa, or massage, or... And his eyes go kind of wide as he starts to drift.
We can definitely ask. And then there's fondue for lunch.
Yes.
Yes.
Not the awful baggy over Twitter.
That was a terrible idea. I don't know what we thought we were doing. Dry, congealed, previously melted cheese, re-melted. Absolutely a disaster.
It was the thought that counted.
Besides, I did see on the menu when we picked that disaster up, they have chocolate fondue, so...
Brilliant.
Chocolate fondue.
Why don't we just look around some of the exhibits we haven't seen yet and give Astra some time?
We'll be back in a few minutes.
Sure.
The three of us can keep wandering around the art gallery. Just enjoying these paintings and sculptures. Some of them sort of more abstract and harder to determine what they're meant to be, but lots of them just of the town. It's a local gallery for local people.
There's like, you know how sometimes museums and art galleries have like a little sort of do-it-yourself section with like pencils and paper and stuff?
It's not that kind of place.
Why not? I want there to be a wall for visitors.
Why is there not a kids section?
Cassian demands the kids section. Where's the menu with the map on it?
No, he just wanted to like put a pattern on a piece of paper and leave it somewhere. But only if there's a place to do that, because if there's not, then it's weird.
No, what you do is you do your own one, stick it on a wall, put a plaque underneath it, 300 gold.
And stand next to it like,
I'm the artist.
well,
What do you think?
It's profound.
Art is subjective.
It's about how it makes you feel.
I feel like you should give me money. No, then that's not a thing. He will simply comment on various pieces that we go by because man loves art.
Sarah will sort of follow behind these two and be like, very clueless about all of it. Like,
Sounds good.
Sariel soundboard.
Oh.
And we'll also listen to Cassian commenting on the art and make not sarcastic comments, but be like, oh yes, I can definitely see in the brush strokes how this person was very tired. Continue to make commentary that means nothing in terms of an artist's eye because he doesn't have a clue.
You know you don't have to say anything if you don't have anything to add.
Yeah, but that's how you sound.
I'm just talking about the fact that I like the way that they've done the waves in this one.
If you don't want me to say anything, I'll just hang back with Sariel.
No,
Links arms with Sariel.
It's very nice. It's just very over my head.
Comes next to you and links your other arm and it's like, huh?
It's not gonna catch on.
Oh. Walks 3 stride with the 2 of you.
Is obnoxious in a gallery.
I love it. And come back and get Astra at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Comes and sits cross-legged next to him on the floor.
Can we see?
Sure. Just a copy of that. Both of them.
Still really well done.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
You should sketch all of us sometime.
I have.
Have you?
Well, you've never shown us.
Suppose not. Yeah, you'll flip through his book and in several different places are like scenes of when we've been doing things. The very first one of any of you is of Vanden.
With his mask off
With
in
his mask off in
Farrellstadt the day they met.
Whoops!
These are really good, Astra. Genuinely. Musically talented and artistically talented.
They're just gorgeous.
You're absolutely right.
It's true.
Some people get everything, huh?
Should we move on then?
Are you hungry for fondue? Or do you want to go to the potentially spa?
Maybe the potentially spa will have fondue.
Maybe it will.
I don't want to get a spa treatment with a full stomach of cheese. I feel like that's a recipe for disaster.
Spa first then? Okay. You can head back down to the town hall, seeing it's just like across the way from here.
I guess submit our choice.
Go up to Louisa and give her your opinions, and she's like, okay. Considers that for a while. It's like, I will see you later. In this square. Right. And you can ask what's at Villa Edelweiss while you're here, and you do learn that there is in fact a pool and a spa and a sauna.
Oh.
And you can head on over. And you can head on over to the far end of town.
God, I want this.
Me too.
Villa Edelweiss is a 4-story white building with pastel blue shutters and iron balconets, and an elevated limestone terrace which juts out over the lake itself. It's situated just far off enough from the town that 2 of the sides are entirely surrounded by field and forest, giving it just this impression that it's completely isolated on the lake, and it has an unspoiled view of the incredible panorama in front of it. There's distant forests on the other side catching the low-hanging afternoon mists, and huge cliffs dusted with snow jutting out of an otherwise flat landscape, whilst the golden rays of the midday sun glisten off the surface of the water. Out on the terrace, as you approach, you can see it's lined in part with dining tables and sun umbrellas, and then there's a crystal clear teardrop-shaped pool which comes to a soft point facing the beautiful vista ahead of you. Situated at such an angle that it looks like the water of the pool and the lake just drift into one another. A sign by the entry doors points in 2 directions, one towards a hotel reception and the other towards a day spa.
Spa, 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 spa.
You head inside. The pretty attendants all wear colourful dirndl dresses with tight bodices and gathered skirts, their hair plaited with flowers. To spend the afternoon in the villa is 3 gold a person.
Easy.
Fully catered with as much food and drink as you'd like. Access to the sauna, the pool and the masseuse.
Fuck yeah. I want this.
When you pay your 3 gold to get in, the party are offered apricot juice or hot chocolate, and given towels and robes for the private sauna. You head into the sauna, which is a fully wooden room with several benches and simple dim lights hanging near the ceiling. You have like a private sauna for yourselves, and one wall is half glass facing out over the water onto a private section of land, and darkened in such a way that you imagine it's hard to see in from the outside, while from the inside you can again see this beautiful picture of the lake. A small burner of hot coals keeps the room warm, and a wooden bucket of ice water with a ladle is provided to throw over the coals when you want more steam. The air is hot and dry, sweat immediately prickling at your brows just to step inside it. You can situate yourselves on the benches and relax back against the wooden walls, staring out at the view, feeling completely relaxed as the heat seeps into your tired muscles. Smells of rich pine in here, and the hot air just sort of curls your hair up. You splash some water over the coals and the steam steams up the window for a moment as everyone just you sit there in towels wrapped around your waist or around your whole body.
This was worth it.
I feel like we're cheating.
Why?
This isn't allowed. We don't get to do things like this.
It's true. Something else will happen before the day's over.
Knocks on some wood. Please no.
I never know what to do in things like this, though. Now we're just going to sit here.
And be hot.
I've never done one of these before. Is this the sort of place where you have conversation or you just sit in silence?
There's no implication. You have to sit in silence. I haven't done one of these before either. This is like...
No, me neither.
Really?
Yeah, it's not... We don't have these in Meritam. It's too hot anyway.
Exactly.
I suppose so.
You don't want to be in the hot sun and then get into an even hotter room. I suppose afterwards you should get in the pool and cool off.
That would be nice.
Have a nice swim.
Sounds good.
I like the idea of water that can't get me.
Is that the difference between pools in the ocean?
Vibes out.
Yeah.
Vibing.
The Dawnbringers fall into a comfortable silence, just feeling sleepy almost from the heat. When it feels like it's getting too hot to bear after you've thrown some water over the coals for a couple of times and filled the room with steam, you can slope out of it again and head out to the terrace where you can jump into the icy cold pool. It's so incredibly refreshing. It instantaneously cools your body off. You see steam rising just from the temperature of your skin as you hit the cold water. And you can swim out to the edge, like the infinity edge of the pool, and lean on it as you look out over the chaste.
This is beautiful.
It really is an incredible area, isn't it?
We watched a cow parade earlier.
We did.
We do lots of things and then suddenly this. We fought the troll yesterday.
One day we're going to arrive in a town and it's not going to be their completely random local event.
No, one day.
I hope not. I like running into the random events.
Places are always up to something.
Yeah, I've seen more of the continent in the last 4 months than I really ever thought I'd see.
Same.
I travelled a fair amount on ships, but going political meeting to political meeting and trade meeting to trade meeting is not exactly conducive for experiencing local culture.
Whereas here and now you don't really have an itinerary you have to follow.
Just a bunch of terrible situations we always find ourselves in.
I mean, I've basically never been farther than Farrelstadt, so the sights are welcome. I guess it does feel good to be doing things, making some sort of lasting impression on places.
There's more places I want to see. I'm desperate to head south at some point. I remember when we first went through the mangrove swamps and I was so horrified at the concept of sleeping in the dirt. And now I am completely inspired to head south at some point and explore the jungle.
I want to go north and see Elenithal.
So do I.
Meet more polar bears.
Amongst other things.
I want to ride a polar bear.
I'm sure you can if you're nice. Cassian's gonna kick back and go for a little swim around and go under the water where he can breathe and vibe.
You can spend a couple more hours here. Go and get a massage if you want to.
Hell yeah!
And not Vanden or Sariel. No. That's the touchiest thing ever.
Yeah.
But Vanden and Sariel, if they want, can get a face mask.
Takes it from the masseuse, puts it on my own face. Don't touch me.
Then you two can get amazingly talented massagers.
Hell yeah, God, I want one.
Work out all of the aches and strains in your back. You start to realise how much tension you've been carrying from travelling and sleeping on the ground.
I want this.
I want this. Crack bits of your body you didn't know could crack, and you feel pains you didn't even know you had just evaporate.
It just comes out like I'm so smooth.
And they can rub you down with like creams and stuff until your skin is just brand new again. It doesn't look like you've been adventuring for the last 4 months. Well worth the 3 gold.
Oh, only 3. Absurd.
Most of the people in this town could never afford to come here, but
You do look like 2 slicked baby seals.
Feel me.
You feel like a baby seal.
Soft.
odd observations, Sariel. Thank you.
How many baby seals have you been holding?
Not enough.
Good answer.
I bet they have seals in early level.
Probably.
More reasons to go. Fondue?
Fondue. And finally, as your last adventurous act of the afternoon before you head over to the corn market, you can stop in at Fabrizio's Fondue at long last. A simple stucco facade on a half-timbered building with no windows and a few outside tables, plus a quaint wooden door. But you step inside and all of the walls are made of beautiful rich wooden planks, giving off a homey smell of timber and pine. The floor is tiled in flagstone and all the furniture is made of the same rich pine wood, with several low rustic tables and cushioned benches, and more bar stools sat around higher tables. Behind the counter, the wooden wall gives way to old plaster and stone, with a false window out to a painting of the chaste that gives the impression that the restaurant is in a very similar location to the villa you were just at. Dim tin lanterns hang overhead, and every beam that holds up the ceiling is decorated with bushels of pine leaves and pine cones. Side tables seem to be made out of carved tree trunks, and one whole wall is a wooden wine rack, with dozens and dozens of bottles of wine and mead, all labelled to say which fondue they go with. A chalkboard menu behind the bar lists a number of starters, different kinds of fondue, and hot stone recipes that can be cooked at your table. You can get deli meats, smoked salmon, goat's cheese, onion soup, classic fondue, fondue with beef in red wine.
Oh, hey Bessie, I can't do this.
Classic fondue with tomato coulis for cheese.
No, fuck off.
Chocolate fondue in dark or milk or white Swiss-style chocolate. Fruit with ice cream. Slices of beef and chicken, sirloin steak, bratwurst, veal, harvest vegetables. And you can spend the afternoon with like a buffet on the table.
Yeah, big cheesy one, chocolate one for dessert. All out.
Dawnbringers can stuff their faces and like they haven't eaten in months and just until they think they're not even sure they can move.
I can't move.
It's nice just to relax.
Oh god, I wish you could take this stuff on the road.
Well, you could take the cheese and melt it yourself.
Yeah.
I'm sure they sell fondue pots here.
No, I mean more like a chocolate fountain.
Well, you could have just a pot of melted chocolate.
It's not the same.
I could just pour it over you.
Right into my mouth.
And having spent a whole day checking out the sights of Firesse and truly relaxing, feeling the tensions leave you, you make your way over to the Corn Market Square one more time. The party arrives where a podium has been set up on the steps of the town hall. A crowd has gathered. It's not huge. Not everyone in Firesse has come to bear witness to this announcement, as it's not the official inauguration of a successor, but there are enough people here to fill the small square. Stood behind the podium are Lord Dupont, Jean-Luc Weiss, Pierre Byrne, Sylvette, and Landenberg, sort of standing towards the back. Louisa Trubb steps up onto the podium, onto a box, to be tall enough to use it.
Oh dear.
Thank you everyone who has gathered for this announcement tonight. An official inauguration of the next Lake Lord of Firesse will follow the funeral of Lord Richard von Kaiberg, but for now we will make the announcement of who will be the successor to the title. A vote has been taken between all the heads of the guilds in Firesse, and the candidate, or candidates we have selected, are Miss Sylvette Marion, You see Sylvette behind Louisa, like, actually looking genuinely shocked that this has happened. And Erwin Landenberg. You see, for the general public in the crowd, there was sort of a hubbub of confusion at Sylvette being chosen. And then at Landenberg's name, they're all like, really, really pleased to hear this. Louisa hands the podium over to the two successors, who shake hands curiously, not yet sure how this is going to work between two people. But Landenberg steps up first and says, "Can I express my gratitude for this position? I intend on leading Firesse into a prosperous future and doing right by its people. Starting with the trade of our unique metal orphirium, which I hope will bring great wealth to our town in the coming years. I promise to live up to the von Kaiberg name and bring many more generations of prosperity to this town." And there's a big sort of whoop from the crowd of people who are quite pleased to see this decision made.
Whoa!
Following that, Sylvette takes the podium, and Landenberg's like, "Please go on." People are shocked, but they slowly applaud her, and she looks equally as sort of shaken up, like this is some kind of joke.
Astra's all like...
She spots you in the crowd and kind of gives you a smile, and it has taken many years of hard work and dedication to earn this position. Through all of my shortcomings, through rumors and lies made about me, I have never given up. I swear, as Mr. Landenberg does, I will guide and govern Firesse into a better and more prosperous future. This couldn't have been made possible without the help of my allies, the Dawnbringers, for bringing truth to light and having trusted my ability to lead this town. They understand as well as I do that sometimes the past must be put behind us to reach for a better future. And Landenberg starts the clap behind her, and the crowd sort of warm up to it and all applaud just as much as they did for him. The sort of political formalities wind down with a whole string of other short announcements from the Chase Trade Alliance that get very bland, and eventually the party are left in Cornmarket, where Sylvette and Landenberg come over to you.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. This was, I've got to be honest, the last thing I was expecting.
We figured it might actually work out best for both of you and for the town itself.
Well, we really do appreciate it. Honestly, I can't thank you enough. And Landenberg will give you his thanks again and head back over to Isatrub and head inside the hall to talk about it. But Sylvette stays for a minute. She deflates a little, exhausted by the last few days as you were. I think that you've done everything that you possibly can for me, and all I can say is thanks, because I didn't act in a great way towards you. I'm still not totally forgiving you, Darren, but I can say that you've paid your dues.
Just puts his hand out to shake.
She reaches forward to shake yours.
Mm-hmm.
Before either of you can say anything else, Cassian, you feel something sharp hit your back, piercing through you and out the front of your chest, splattering blood across Sylvette. You look down at the arrow that struck you, and you see it looks razor sharp and white as bone, the end of it barbed. Immediately, a sickening nausea starts to spread through you.
I'm F.
You take 40 points of piercing damage, and can you make me a Constitution saving throw?
Oh my god!
7.
7, okay. You feel poison spreading through your body, but luckily you're wearing the ring of poison resistance. You take 12 points of poison damage.
Fuck!
Oh my god, I'm just barely up.
You feel this poison throbbing through you. you drop down to your knees. Across the square, as you all turn around to see what's happened, the attacker stands there holding a crossbow, a manic grin on her face from under the woolen shawl that's wrapped around her shoulders. I was aiming for Sylvette, but that works too. She starts to load the crossbow again. Sylvette looks up at the woman, dressed somewhat like a beggar, until recognition starts to spread on her face. Melissa?
Oh my god.
You see properly now her green eyes, dark hair, pointed ear tips. Melissa Stalingrad, Sylvette's ex-wife. Her hair is a little patchy, the skin around her lips crusted with scarring and a madness in her expression that surely comes with poisoning. Although she is very, very much alive. Her dirty clothes give off the impression of a beggar, but as she lets the shawl slip away, you recognise the dress below as not dissimilar to the ones that you've seen inside the master bedroom at Ulfrin's fortress. Sylvette is stunned into silence, shaking like she's seen a ghost. The silence is soon broken by the sound of heavy clunking metal growing closer and closer. Clang, 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 until emerging from the nearest side street you see a large but altogether incomplete metal golem. I would like you to roll.
Oh my god!
Okay, thank you.
Astra.
I got 21.
Ooh. Cassian.
18.
Sariel.
Dirty 20.
Astra, Sariel, and Vanden, you watch almost in slow motion as this happens. Cassian thrusts a hand forward to shake Sylvette's, and then this arrow just explodes through his chest, and you see immediately he starts to tremble and falls to his knees. The blood splatters across Sylvette, and you see this woman reloading her crossbow at the other side of the square as this golem emerges from an alleyway. Astra, you're up first.
Oh my god, okay. I'm going to use my movement to stand in front of Cassian and Sylvette, and pulling my lip forward, bonus actioning Bardic Inspiration. You'll just get 8 temporary hit points for now, I'll give you more soon.
Okay.
And then my action, I'm going to try and cast a Guiding Bolt at level 3 towards that bitch. That is a 13 to hit.
13 hits.
Guiding Bolt! 66. So Astra moves, slips to stand in front of his injured friend, starts playing his lute, and just a guiding bolt will shoot out of front as the music is guiding it for, ooh, tasty, 22 radiant damage.
Nice. Okay. Are you doing anything else? That's everything.
That's all I can do. I've used my movement, my action, and my bonus action.
Sariel.
Absolute bloodlust in her face as her friend just takes all of this like hurt and pain. She's gonna reach her hand up to the sky and storm clouds are gonna gather. She casts Call Lightning.
Okay.
And shoots a bolt of lightning straight at Melissa.
Okay.
So she needs to make a dexterity saving throw.
Dex save. That is 13.
Is the DC, but she will take half damage.
Okay.
3d10s of lightning. Ooh. 14, 21 halved is 10 points of lightning damage.
10 points of lightning damage. Okay.
And concentrating. And moves to stand in front of Cassian as well.
Okay. Vanden's turn. Vanden is going to immediately crouch down and first of all grab hold of Cassian and channel 7 hit points back into him.
Thank you.
And then is going to Hunter's Mark the Golem.
Yep. Are you concentrating on that?
Yes. Cassian.
He's going to stand up.
You take 1 more point of poison damage.
Ow. He's going to cast Spirit Shroud as his bonus action.
Okay.
Spirit Shroud of radiant damage again.
Okay.
So he starts to glow with arcane light. And did I count as prone? Did I need to use half my movement to stand up,
yes.
or am I fine? Okay. And then is going to use the rest of his movement to start pushing past towards Melissa.
Okay, so like there?
Yeah.
I say a little bit more towards you, so he's not like heading towards.
Yeah, got him. Yeah, he would have moved through you.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Is that your whole turn?
Do still have. That was a bonus action spell,
Yeah.
so I can still use an action cantrip.
Yeah.
Just radiant damage, then Eldritch Blast.
Okay. One at each or both at Melissa?
Both at Melissa. One is a 17, one's an 18.
Both hit.
She will take.
Nice.
27 points of force damage.
She's still up, but she looks like you see a mania in her eyes as she just starts laughing as both Eldritch Blasts hit her.
It just
Is that the best you've got?
just spits blood out.
Oh. Okay, it's her turn. You little mice just keep getting in my way, don't you? She is going to move that way to aim at Sariel. So as she loads another bolt into her crossbow, she fires it towards you. That is a 19.
Shield.
What does that make your AC?
20.
20. Oh,
New armor.
the shield flies up and deflects the arrow away from you, and you can see as it bounces off, it leaves like a splatter of poison on the outside of your shield. And she's like, starts loading another bolt.
No, you don't.
The golem.
Lol.
You see it lumbering forwards.
5, 10, 15, 20.
Is it going for Sylvette?
It's going to swing and attack at Sylvette and attack at Astra.
You had such a thoughtful look in your eyes.
Completely misses Sylvette, who just screams. Like, for all of her sort of peacocking around with her knife, she has no combat prowess, and she's just like,
Sylvette, get out of here!
Astra, that is a 15 to hit.
That hits.
You're going to take 11 points of bludgeoning damage as it just slams an iron fist down into you. You can see up close that it's clearly strong, but it's missing large parts of its like natural metal armor where it hasn't been finished. Sylvette is going to risk the opportunity attack to try and run around the side of the building anyway. Oh, but it's going to hit her. Okay, Sylvette limps away from the scene following your advice as you yell it out to her and like tucking herself behind a building. Back to the top of the round. Astra.
Move me away from Sariel, please, or around the golem.
Yeah.
Still strumming on his lute. Astra is going to, like, again, lift up a healed boot, slam his foot down as he strums on the lute, and casts Thunder Wave.
Oh!
Can it make me a Con 14 save, please?
Okay.
I'm casting it at 3rd level again.
Golems have magical resistance. So that is a 16, but it'll still take half.
Yep. You just won't get pushed away from me, which is fine. And it's still 4d8s.
Is that? No, but still.
Nearly all 8s.
It's 3 8s.
Oh my god.
So 16.
And then a 5. So
29. So half to
14.
14. Nice.
Yo.
Okay. And this wave of thunderous energy explodes out of Astra and sort of vibrates across the golem. You see little bits of the metal that's not finished flaking off it.
Told you we should have destroyed this thing.
You were right. Sariel, it's your turn. You see Melissa looking over to you and being like, of course Sylvette would keep little rats like you around.
Another lightning bolt. Can she make another deck save?
Yeah, let's give it a go. That is a fail.
Cool. She takes 3d10s of lightning damage. 14 points of lightning damage.
Okay.
And Sariel's going to run right up to her.
Ooh.
Got a crossbow right in front of her.
Yeah, and also to stop her going anywhere.
Okay. Vanden's turn. He's going to move in to flank the golem.
Hell yeah.
Flonk. It's got Hunter's Mark on it, and it's got advantage, so he's just going to do the first swing.
Yep.
16 hits. So D4 plus D10, D6 plus D10, and the second one even higher. Cassian, your turn.
He is going to turn back around to the golem, which seems like the bigger issue right now than this crazy lady, and take a swing with his sword.
Okie dokie.
Move me.
Yes.
Yeah, you can get advantage because it's flanked on
Super
two sides.
duper flanked.
And a building on the other side.
You know what? He's got nothing to lose by doing this. He's going to cast Booming Blade at the same time.
Nice.
It's critical.
Nice.
So the sword and Booming Blade and Spirit Shroud.
All of these lovely stackables.
15 points of slashing damage.
It's magical slashing damage. Yep.
12 points of thunder damage and 12 points of radiant damage.
Nice.
And it is surrounded in
booming
energy, so if it moves even one square, it will take more damage.
Okay. It looks like it is falling to pieces.
Nice.
It's still up as this energy like vibrates around it, but there are just bits of metal falling off it. It clearly wasn't close enough to finish to be able to use. Melissa is going to swing at Sariel with a large blade that she pulls out. That's a 19. So you're going to take 4 points of piercing damage. Can you make me a con save?
Yep, 1 moment. 3.
You're going to take...
Should have shielded.
23 points of poison damage.
Ouch.
She laughs maniacally as she runs you through. It's like, itsy bitsy spider going down again, and then just fires her crossbow off at Cassian.
Okay, crazy.
That is a 15.
Miss.
Okay, it fires past you. She's like, itsy bitsy spider rotting down the drain. Starts like pulling another crossbow bolt into her weapon.
Ew.
Okay.
The golem. It's going to turn and step back onto the steps a little bit.
That's take damage.
But it takes damage.
Yep.
It don't know that.
It doesn't know that, it's just a construct.
8 points of thunder damage.
Okay. And it's going to just exhale a cloud of poisonous gas.
Oh.
It just like opens its metal mouth like, and just exhales it like a machine.
Well, bad.
All three of us make a DC 15 con save.
13.
No.
So you both fail. Random may exist. So both of you are going to take 15 points of poison damage. You'll halve that to 7. And Vanden will take 7 as well, but he needs to make a concentration check.
Oh yes,
Yeah, he makes it.
Oh, I need to make a concentration check as well.
14, I'm good.
God, how much damage did I take?
24 points, I think.
So you need to be 12.
12. Yeah, 18.
Great.
Lightning's still going.
From around the building, so that's not going to move, but she's just going to be like, don't kill her outright, we need to ask her something, right?
Yes!
Okay, back to the top of the round. Astra.
Okay.
Both the golem and Melissa look on their last legs.
Sweet. With the golem in front of me then, I will cantrip cast Toll the Dead on it.
Okie dokie.
Bong.
Bong
Because
bong.
it's already taken damage, I will use D12s. So
Nice.
can I make me a Wiz 12 save, please?
Let's
How
see.
wise is it?
That's a 10.
Great.
Bong, 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 bong.
Yeah, so we're getting these bells sound that sound like they're made out of hollow wood. Just all around him. And it's not much. 8.
8. This really is the end of the golem now as it's swaying. It's still just up.
Cool. And then my action.
That is your action.
Oh, my action. My bonus action, sorry, is to second level healing word Cassian. So you better stay on your feet. You get back 6, 7, 8 hit points.
I'm feeling great, Astra. He says with an arrow sticking out of his chest.
You don't look it.
I also forgot to roll your poison damage. Took 4 more points on the last round.
So 2.
Yeah. Sariel.
How close to going down does she look?
She has 5 hit points.
Okay.
She looks 5 hit points close to going down.
Dagger.
Yeah, I'll try and like smack her around the head with my staff.
Nice.
Two-handed. I won't. 7.
She just brings up the hilt of the sword she pulled out and just blocks it away from you. It's like, let's keep going.
Yes, let's.
Vanden sort of coughs and swipes away the poison gas, and he's just gonna take 2 more swipes at this freaking golem. Oh, doesn't need to take 2. The first hit takes it down.
Nice.
He just swings the sword in and just lops the head off the construct, and it just
Nice.
stops. Bonus action, he's gonna move his hunter's mark over to Melissa, and I guess he'll move as close as he can. And Cassian.
Misty Step. Round to flank her with Sariel.
Nice. That's a bonus action.
Yep.
Great.
He's gonna drop his concentration on Spirit Shroud so that he doesn't undo her with radiant damage, and is just gonna use the flat, big side of Undertow to just try and bonk.
Okay, roll an attack.
Roll Melissa.
Yeah, 24.
Yeah.
8 points of damage.
You just use the flat of your blade and just knock her out, and she's like, and just drops unconscious onto the floor.
And well, we'll try and catch her as she falls.
You take another 1 point of poison damage. That's already hard. As you feel the pain of this thing sticking directly through your back to your chest.
You need to get that out.
Yeah. What do we do?
Can I
look at it now?
Take a look at it.
And you see that it looks like it's carved out of bone. It has a hollow end, probably that was filled with poison, and it has a barbed hook.
Is the shaft made of wood?
It looks like it's carved all the way down with bone.
Jesus. And it's still sticking out his back and coming out his front? Is there a way I can come like round to his back and try and break it so that we can?
I
don't need to like yank it out of him.
Where did I put it?
Like with a knife or something.
Encompassing into that, you can make a medicine check to try and remove this safely.
I'll run over and come and help you with this.
Thank you. 15.
Cassian, you take another 9 points of piercing damage as it sort of splinters while it's coming out of you.
Sorry.
It's alright. I'm still on my feet.
I'm going to cast 4th level healing cure wounds on you. 20 hit points back.
Okay. I'm gonna sniff at it.
Just hold your shoulder like, you're right. We need to get you into the temple or something when they can get rid of the poison.
I appreciate it. I'm alright though.
You feeling okay with the aid of your friends? Just sort of, with the arrow out, you're no longer feeling like you're taking more damage. So that kind of creeps out from around the outside of the town hall. It's like, is she down?
She's unconscious.
Oh, okay.
Pull the rope out of my bag again and just tie her up.
Search for any more sneaky weapons she might have on her to get rid of them.
Find 2 more vials of poison on her. That looks like they can be loaded into the weapons that she's carrying.
Well, I'll put those in my ring.
And she sort of starts to become like drowsy and vaguely awake again. And Silverette stands there like, I thought she was dead.
So did we.
Prop her up against a wall or something.
You're going to need to start talking.
I'm not sure if she can properly.
You
Me?
You. I've been watching you and following you.
Why?
It was you, wasn't it? You ruined our lives.
Yes.
Maybe I should have aimed for the head. So that's like... I don't understand. I thought you poisoned yourself because you thought I was working with smugglers or something. I thought I was gonna get caught. You were always so straight-laced, sugar. It's sickening. And so that's like... What?
Melissa was working with smugglers.
All those times you would go away and leave me in charge of the company. What else was I going to do? Where do you think we got all of our money from? So that's like... I had no idea.
Cassian's rumours were a little bit true, but not about you.
Apparently so. Yeah. I guess the game is up. Oh well. Don't you want to get back together, Syl? And so that's like, no! You've clearly gone insane! Maybe. I'm pretty good with poison, though.
It's not a selling point.
I put so much effort in. I was working with the River Runners for years. I maintained that connection for all this time. Me and Alfred were gonna rule the Shaste. And now you've ruined it again. You and Landenberg and his soft backbone.
Are you M, his contact?
Ding, 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 ding. You see, she sort of tries to lurch and lunge forward against the rope she tied her up with.
Don't try.
Slam her shoulder back against the wall.
Carry on, I like it.
Just death glare.
You were there when the whatever happened at the fort started?
No. Alfred was always so open to my suggestions until recently. Something changed and he insisted that I'd stay away. So he didn't want me knowing about some shady nonsense with organs and magic. Considering everything we do, it's a little rich, don't you think?
What do you know about Arsino?
Nothing. A contact in Alfred's ledger. And now I'm bored and angry because you've ruined my life all over again.
No. What you are is captured and about to go to prison.
Nothing else in jail for all I care. Cassian is going to walk away from this situation.
Don't you walk away from me! We were going to take the town from von Kaiberg and we were going to control it. It was going to be perfect. Pathetic, man.
Walking faster.
And so let's just turn her in and take her into the town hall. I can't believe this.
Going to pick her up over my shoulder.
She's like, itsy bitsy spider, and she starts like biting at your hair.
Leaning my head away slightly, like, no. That's a bit...
As soon as you get to the doors of the town hall, like, they're opened and you can see clearly that there are people gathered who are watching out the windows, like, with no idea what to do as this went down. And you can take her inside. She's taken straight to, like, an isolated cell.
Cassian's just going to bring her outside, get some air after all that.
When you're done, so that's just like... That was the last thing I expected. Maybe now the past can be put behind for real.
Fresh start for everybody here in the town.
Yeah. Thank you again. You're always going to have friends here in Firesse.
Good to know.
And for what it's worth, I hope Cassian is okay. Otherwise, if there's anything you need from me or Landenberg, I'm sure you can call on us.
Thank you.
And I will call on the Dawnbringers if we think we need anything else.
Just look after yourselves.
We will. Thank you.
We'll go out.
Go out and find Cassian.
Yeah, go regroup.
Hey.
It looks like he's like finishing off a letter when you guys find him that he sort of folds. Hi.
That was a lot to deal with in a very brief space of time.
You alright though?
Yes. It all seemed a little bit too convenient at the end there.
Now I really do feel like everything's wrapped up.
Yes.
I feel like that was the missing puzzle piece.
I gave her money.
I was going to give her so much money.
I felt sorry for her. Still do. Can't be nice to lose your mind.
No. Speaking of, I think we made the right decision with Landenberg. Well, rough end to a nice day, but I think it's been okay.
You can never have just one day with nothing.
I guess we did decide to try and relax when it wasn't quite done.
What now then?
Do you need more healing? Are you doing okay?
I mean, I'm not great, but I'm better.
Okay.
Sariel, come walk with me, would you?
Okay.
I'll catch the rest of you. Where do you want to go?
I don't know, maybe we'll head back towards the tavern for now. You take your time.
Meet you at the tavern.
We'll go along with Cassian.
Yeah. Just sort of wanders through the town for a bit. Kind of ambles towards the bridge that has all the like ribbons on it.
Okay.
And just sort of gets onto it, lets out a big sigh, and just pulls her into a big hug.
I'm glad you're okay.
Sariel. This has been so much for you.
For me?
Based on our conversation back in Cassian and the look you gave me when I said certain things, I know this must have been weighing on your mind.
You've had a lot more to deal with over the last few days.
Doesn't matter. Sariel, if there's anything I've learned over the last few days, any one of us could be dead tomorrow. And I don't want to die feeling like things are going unsaid.
Makes sense.
For what it's worth, I'm sorry for not having told any of you anything earlier. And I'm sorry that this has put a sour taste in our relationship.
The place where I came from was just rife with people manipulating and taking advantage of other people, often just for fun. And I don't know, it just shook me a little bit that my friend could be capable of something like that.
People can be capable of a great many evils, Sariel. I don't think I'm that person anymore. I don't want to be.
I can see that you're doing your best to make amends for it.
I want to be someone that the three of you can trust and rely on.
I feel like that might be easier now that all of that is out in the open. Difficult as it was to hear it in the first place.
As long as things are okay between us. And if I am being shitty, you can just tell me. In fact, I dearly request that you do.
I'll try and make a point of doing that more often.
Thank you.
I'm glad you're okay though. That scared me back then.
It's like my life flashed before my eyes.
Flashed before all of us, I'm sure.
We're all fine though. Physically.
Physically.
It's like she's got a lot more going on behind her eyes than she's letting out. Like, just mulling over a lot of things that have come up in the past few days.
Am I wrong to want to get revenge on someone?
No.
Because all of us were just so angry and so against Sylvette for what she was doing to you. I mean, the brand she put around your neck and just the power she was holding over you.
It's an awkward position to be in. Where I am now, I can... She deserved retribution from me. She deserved revenge. What I did to her was wrong and stupid and cruel. But I simply ruined her reputation. She beat me and put my life at risk. It's not exactly equal accounts, yes?
Eye for an eye.
Exactly. From my understanding, this man that you're after is vile, deplorable, just acting for cruelty and power's sake.
It scares me the thought that he could come out into Riven society and say, "Sorry, I've changed. I'm a better man now."
Even if that were the case, he'd still have to do some sort of... There is a just punishment for every crime, but sometimes what we personally feel is just is different.
The people who will listen to him, though, he's very good at manipulating people.
Then it's good that we know that. Sariel, if you want him dead, and he has not changed at all, I don't think any of us are going to stop you.
I think that was just the one driving force I had in me for so long, and now I don't know if it's the right thing to do. I suppose that's why I've been putting off going back for so long.
I think it will be hard to know until you do go back. And if in the end it is what you really want and it is what you think is necessary, I'll hold him down.
He needs to suffer, as he's made so many others suffer.
Gives you another squeeze.
There's someone else out there, though. Someone else got out.
And that's just one that you've heard of. Who knows if there's others? Who knows if we'll meet them?
Who knows?
There's questions you can ask them, I'm sure. Chin up. There's all sorts that we don't know that could be incredibly useful to you.
I'm glad you're okay.
Always am.
Boop.
Boop. Do you want to start heading back?
I probably should.
Just give me a minute.
Okay.
I'm gonna pull out 4 ribbons and just...
Precious.
He knows what they're for. And then he's ready to go.
Do they say anything? Glance as he does it.
At a glance, there's quite obviously one for each of the 3 of you, and then one that... I mean, based on the initials, could be his parents?
At the same time. Hello. These two head off for a short walk together, and Astra agreed to go back towards the tavern. Give them a couple of minutes so that we're not like 10 feet behind them. And Vanden will gently elbow Astra in the side as they walk.
Ah, you've wounded me.
I just wanted to say, because I can't hold my tongue on anything apparently.
Apparently not.
I just wanted to say that I'm not upset with you. And that I'm certainly not. I don't think anyone else is going to stop you from going home when the time comes. It's just a sadness at the thought of never seeing one of my best friends ever again. Is all. So, as I understand it, the time hasn't come yet, and I think the thing we should really strive to do is make the most of whatever time we have left travelling together, because you are an absolute highlight of my life, and my life would be far worse without you in it. And if you leave me with that, you have improved my life for the better. So please just keep being yourself, and one day when we do say goodbye, I will treasure it. Okay?
Okay.
Good. That's all I wanted to. That's all I wanted to say. As you keep walking, you suddenly hear coming down the street behind you, Uncle Astra!
Oh,
Astra! You turn around to glance back the way you came from, which leads out of town, and you see Finn come tearing through the street. He's looking for you, and at first, a little confused how he's down here in Firesse by himself. Then you see there's tears on his face. He runs up to you, and he grabs onto your leg again.
I'll pick him up and put him on my hip. Hello? What's wrong, sweetheart?
He's just run a mile.
oh.
They said they're gonna start cutting down the forest tomorrow, and everybody's standing around it trying to make sure that no one can come in the night.
They're not gonna cut it down. Not on my watch.
I thought Mama said that maybe I should get you.
I need to go deal with this, Vanden.
I'll come with you.
Okay.
Or I'll get the others. I'll wait for them and I'll chase after you.
Yes.
Okay, go.
Okay. Come on, you, on my shoulders. Put Finn on my shoulders and just start, like, jogging up. Back up the way that Finn just came. Okay. Oh my god, high heels and a child.
Oh god.
Still running.
Get better shoes.
No!
It's the aesthetic. As they're heading up the road, you two will come away from the bridge and see Vanden waiting there by himself, like having given you space, seeing you on the bridge. It's like,
Where's Astra?
he's run back up to Melora's wood. Apparently they're going to try cutting it down.
I need to go to help.
One thing after another.
And the three of you can set off in that direction as well. That's true, you get there maybe a minute and a half before they do. And as you approach, you see all the members of Melora's circle are now standing sort of like a living wall around the outside of the trees. You can see that the farmer is there, stood there with them. He's like, I'm sorry that I have to say this, but it's my land, and the pressure is on, and unfortunately this is simply a legal thing that I have to do. There are plenty of forests in the area. You could just move on.
No.
And turns around and sees you again, having seen you once a couple of days ago. He now sees you with the other tiefling child on his shoulder and is like, suspicions confirmed.
What do you want for it?
What?
You said it's your land. How much?
What? I mean, technically the land is owned by the town.
So technically it's not yours.
But the family bought it a long time ago. We've been paying for it a little yearly by yearly, but I can't afford it due to the goods that we've lost recently, and it's more than 200 gold. It's a very expensive plot of land.
Astra's just gonna like put Finn down and just go to your mother.
And then runs over to Lena and clings onto her dress.
Pull his money pouch out and just take 30 platinum out.
Ooh. The guy looks at you like in Like he might faint in shock.
I'll give you this. On account of you leave them alone and you leave this land. It belongs to them now.
Oh. Well, that would certainly cover it. There are tears in this nervous man's eyes.
And you won't be having problems with the smugglers anymore either.
So you guys sort of arrive at the scene. It's like... Oh. He looks like he's just taken a breath for the first time since you met him.
I appreciate that you've been through some hard times, but you're out on the other side of this now.
Thank the gods.
But you need to leave these poor people alone.
You know that I didn't want to.
I know. But you take this money and this belongs to them now. Can we agree on that?
I want to do it officially, just so this can never turn back on me, but if you come to the farmhouse, I can pass you the title deed to do whatever you want with. Lena's like, we'll wait here until it's all done.
Sure.
And the group of you can pursue Franz Stalingrad back to the farmhouse, at which point he digs through a bureau and pulls out a title deed to the land. And you see that it's worth 215 gold, which the family has been paying off for 45 years.
And here comes Astra.
He's looking at this platinum like he wants to bite it to make sure it's real. It's like
30 platinum. Don't care if it's more than it's worth.
Truly changed my life. Here, if you just sign here and
for Astra.
This title deed is now yours.
Thank you.
The wood and the cottage.
I appreciate it.
This is the best situation for all of us. The Rangers were offering to move the circle out by force. I just didn't want to. And you're very kind. I hope the wood stays in your family for generations.
I'm sure it will. Thank you.
Perhaps see if you can work with the circle. Melora tends to the forest. Maybe she can tend to your crops as well.
He looks like, oh.
Never thought of that.
Never thought of that. I'll definitely consider it. Thank you.
And for what it's worth, I'm sorry that you've lost your family.
Such is life.
It is.
We can't always choose what happens to us, but we can always choose what we do moving forwards. You can sort of step out of the farmhouse again into the brisk night air. It was 5:30, so it's probably 6 by the time you were fighting with Melissa. It's only like 6:30 now. Oh, glad that was over quickly. Smart move.
Must put some use to the money I've been carrying around. Let's go find the others and let them know.
You stroll back down the track, back to the road and cross over to the wood, where you see that they've all stopped linking arms and making this humanoid wall.
We shall not be moved.
You get the feeling they might have chained themselves to the trees if it went any further. And Lena comes over to you with Finn's hand in her own. It's like, you didn't have to do that.
This is for you. It's the title deed for the cottage and the land.
Thank you. Wow, what a difference you've made. I bet your whole family's like that. Thank you. And she hugs you.
I'll go back.
Everyone, if you want to head home, we're not in trouble anymore. You see, they're all like, way! Woo! 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 They start trailing back into the woods. You see now there's tiny golden fireflies flicking through the tree line in here, lighting up the way. And if you want to, Lena invites you back to the tree to have a celebratory drink.
Yes.
Where you can all unwind in a nice peaceful spot of nature. And let's sort of piles of cushions around to sit down on, and everyone can have a little bit of wine, a bit of mead.
Drinky.
And just take a deep breath. Everything is over.
You've done a good thing for so many people, Astra.
Trying to keep this place safe.
It's going to be safe now forever, I'm sure.
Melora would be proud.
She would be.
Probably is. Always seems to be watching over you.
It's true. I haven't prayed for a while. I might do that for a bit. Spend some quiet time thinking and speaking to the gods.
I need to go do some reflection as well.
So do I.
And we all just meet back here when we want to sleep.
Sounds good.
See you all in a bit.
Don't get any more trouble.
Gives you a wink.
Then will go separate himself and just sit down, his eyes closed, speaking to the sky. What reflection would everybody like to do?
Before Astra goes and has a little Melora moment, gonna go over to Lena anyway. And just,
hey, sweetie.
Hi. Just one more thing for you and for the little one.
Okay.
And just hands a small pouch.
Looks at it curiously and opens it.
10 platinum inside.
Astra, you don't have to do this. You've already given us our home.
I don't need it.
Thank you. This will ensure that Finn is taken care of for a very, very long time.
It's all I could hope for.
You are an incredible person. I hope you know that. You and all your friends, actually.
They are, aren't they? Glad to meet you.
I'm glad to meet you. I hope that wherever your journey takes you, it ends somewhere incredible.
Me too.
And I'm confident that it will.
I hope that your Oakley returns to you soon.
Me too. We can but hope. And then Finn comes running up to you with the lute and is like, look, look! And strums like 3 terrible chords.
Already better than Imral, though.
Already better than Imral.
Okay, Sariel?
Okay. She will go and find a spot in the forest with open sky. And somewhere she can see the moon.
Hey, babe.
Yeah, somewhere she can see the moon, which is presumably getting towards being full at this point.
This is the night of the 11th.
Okay, so just a couple more days.
A couple more days until it's full. It's very big. You know that the moon will go through cycles in which it's closer to Caldera. It's one of those cycles in which the moon is very large.
Big.
She will lay out all of her divining paraphernalia that she's been gathering over the last few months. So the tarot cards that Astra got her from the carnival, her Twilight Quartz, scrying eye, the symbol of Sayanine, and just like all of her other incense and things like that she always uses. And we'll just sit and meditate for a little bit, sort of taking in the atmosphere and the quiet. And we'll, not knowing that she is doing it, but she will attempt to cast a divination ritual.
Okay.
Most radiant lady. Something's coming. Vanden's seen something. And I feel like something's getting closer, but I can't put my finger on what it is. This coming full moon is going to be different. I ask for your guidance in what we're getting into and what's coming in these next few nights.
The spell casts. It reaches out and beseeches your god or a servant of to offer you a truth regarding your question. You reach out and you see a town half sunk in water flash through your head. You see a dark portal at the bottom of a deep dark space. You see a city of endless night, and you see 2 wings outstretched, covered in blood.
Are they golden wings?
They're golden wings. You see a flash of Vanden's face, his eyes black, as he surges towards you with a weapon. And that's the end of it. All of this occurred, flashing through your head, with the understanding you were about to approach a blood moon.
We haven't had one of those in a while. You know, I shall always defend you, my most radiant lady.
And she'll just sit and meditate for a while, with that knowledge.
Okay. Who's beseeching their deity or entity next?
Up the line.
Well, first things first, Cassian is going to pull out his spellbook to write a message to Nestor, essentially asking if he would be able to get a letter somewhere safely or pass it on to someone else in the Gorgon who could.
You get a simple back, yes.
I will say where I am and that I am waiting for him.
Be there in 2.
A man of few words.
2 minutes or 2 hours?
2 days.
2 seconds.
Literally within a couple of minutes, he just emerges from a shadowed alley again. Comes through. What do you need?
Just make sure this gets back to Meditate, please.
Takes the letter, looks it over, tucks it into his jacket.
It is, for the sake of future story, it's essentially a letter home to his parents saying, I am okay, you won't see me in a while, but I am alive and I'm fine. Please take the missing posters down. People are trying to kidnap me for the ransom money. You really didn't think that through, did you? Lots of love, Cassian.
Love it.
Nice. Lose my number.
Lose my number.
The amount on the posters doubles.
Shit.
When that's done, he's gonna go find a quiet spot and see if he has the ability to learn and copy the life transference spell into his spellbook.
Okay. You would know, we'll say you have the components to do this, basically using your magical header components. So, in which case, simply the practice time, you have the components, I will halve the cost of doing this to 25 gold.
Okay.
And you have to make an Arcana check, DC 10 plus the spell's level.
Oh fuck.
Oh boy. No one here to give you guidance.
Not 20, bitch.
Oh man. Okay.
That was crisp.
25.
Nice. Okay, you copy it down and you swear you hear quiet music playing out of your shell necklace as you do. As the spell just copies into the page and you see the ink dry like immediately as your quill leaves each letter. And you copy it into the spellbook. And you now know life transfers.
Oh my god.
Oh boy.
Okie dokie. And then we'll shut the book, sit with it, and like putting his hand over his chest again. Moving from where he got frickin' shot earlier, and then up to where he knows the necklace always is underneath his clothes. Just... You're the last person I need to actually apologise to for this. I know I was like this before, like that, before we met, but I shouldn't have used your magic for shitty reasons. games. Useless entertainment for a bitter old elf. I'm sorry, Leah. Just holds the book close.
It feels warm like it did when you were looking for it in Angelique's room.
Flick it open.
Words start appearing on the page as they did then. They say, I'm aware. ...
Oh, she's a boomer.
You can be messy sometimes, but I forgive you.
I love you.
It says across the page, I love you too.
Miss you.
Before you close it, as you go to, something else starts appearing on the pages.
Ooh.
You flip it open again, and you see that it says, before you go. Slowly, the words appear. I can feel something in the tides. Something is changing in the water, in the way it flows. Be on your guard. More information as soon as I know something.
Ooh. Thank you. Thank you. Troubling, but good to know.
Kiss, kiss. ...
Halt, and then he will make his way back to where everyone said that they would go for sleep.
Astra.
Oh god, okay. Astra's gonna go and just sit at the bottom of his dad's tree and pull his own sapling out of his bag and sit cross-legged with it, like cradled in his hands, looking up at this tree. And he's never prayed because he's never known what it is before, but he's seen Vanden do it and like heard enough people talking about it and stuff. And so internally, like, so just in his own head, he's just going to start talking at God knows.
She does know.
She does. Did you make the right choice with this Green Knight thing? Because I have to go home. Did you know that? Surely you did. I don't want to. I don't think so. God. You've made the wrong choice with me. And I'm just ending up hurting everybody around me. Everything I do is selfish. I begged this group to stay together because I was scared of being alone. I've given a child the hope of seeing a family that he'll never know because I selfishly wanted to see an image of them together for a few minutes. And everything I do is for my own benefit. I've tricked people into liking me for the sake of I am so scared of being alone. And I'm just going to end up like my dad, aren't I? He came out here and made a life and made people love him, and then he left them alone, and I'm doing that. And I'm just ending up hurting everybody around me.
As your thoughts come to a quiet close, a wind blows through the trees, pushing you to open your eyes, and you look up as a couple of the leaves, turning for the autumn, fall off the twisted oak and carry on the wind. And then you realise they're blowing off out into the woods in a different direction to the way that the rest of the trees are all swaying in the wind, as if luring you.
I'm gonna get up and follow.
You trail after them for a while, and these few leaves just twist and turn and go around the trees like a small child playing, almost. And they lead you back around until you realise you've been walked in a circle until you're facing back at the clearing with the oak tree. And you just stand there and watch for a short while as you see this community of people laughing and crafting things together. Colourful flags and bells hanging in the trees, happy people sharing in nature, in their community. All of their lives improved for what they have here. Something left by someone who was maybe a ship passing in the night. But someone who, what he did in this space has improved things here in Melora's Wood forever. No matter whether he's gone or not. Suddenly a drowsiness comes over you, and you feel like you need to go to bed pretty soon.
I'll get out my luxury bedroll.
Cassian, you make your way back up to Melora's Wood, and you see everyone sort of putting together a little nighttime camp anyway. I'm pretty tired now. Might just get an early night and...
It's about time we had one.
Exactly. And you could use some rest. So it's still sort of nodding his head towards your still bloody clothes.
He just moves his sleeping bag a little bit close to Vanden's and sort of says, "Do you mind?"
That's fine.
Just kind of nestles in.
I don't mind taking a watch.
I don't think we need to. I think everyone can just sleep. But if you really want to...
She'll look around at the many people in this space. Like, yeah, you're probably right.
They're going to be partying all night.
The four of you bed down for the first time ever in an outdoor space where nobody has to take watch. It feels nice just to lay down and where you're peeking up through the canopy of the trees, where the leaves fall off them for the autumn. You can see the most amazing blanket of stars tonight, and this nearly full moon, huge in the sky.
Spot the halos.
You can lay there for a while, point up at the stars, talk amongst yourselves, and slowly drift off with this image in your head of the night sky. Astra.
Hello.
You sleep soundly for about half the night before you start to vividly dream. You find yourself in a forest. It isn't one you recognize, but it feels like home. Light dapples through the trees and you listen to the bird song, a smile coming over your face as the sun's warmth hits your skin. You're walking with little purpose, just enjoying the sense of peace that washes over you. Ahead of you, a badger darts in and out between the trees, ducking and weaving and looking back to make sure you're following. In your dream state, you're fully aware Melora is trying to speak to you. You carry on this way, walking through this beautiful forest, until stench starts to seep up out of the ground. The forest around you quickly begins to rot and wilt, becoming putrid and dark. You see flashes of different landscapes, decay like a plague spreading through the land, plants and flowers withering and drooping as the sun fails to rise. Darkness spreads into every corner of the world. It's as though something parasitic begins to take over the natural world, slowly mutating it, spores floating thick in the air and landing like snowflakes on once clean earth and water. The colour drains out of the world slowly, grey and monotone darkness swallowing everything you see until the only colour is within arm's reach of you. More images race through your sleeping mind. The Reveni, your people, their minds slipping away, personalities waxing and waning as they stand near catatonic, save for scratching at unseen infections. You run to them, but the closer you get, the more pain you feel aching through your own body, until an itch begins inside you too, and you look down to find rot and mould growing over your skin. When you look up, the moon is burning bright red. A splash of gold hits your chest like a blood splatter as you feel the ground beneath your feet shaking and splitting apart. You are forced away, forced to run far, far away across the land. In the distance you see the badger again, cowering in the shadows, its eyes pleading for your help. You rush to its side and you take it in your arms, knowing that your purpose here is to protect it. You cradle it. Slowly, from where you kneel, the light returns. Little by little, inch by inch. The colour creeps back into the world and the wilting plants begin to turn their leaves towards the sun once more. The Reveni shines once more, sunlight catching on the leaves of a great oak tree, your people safe. You may be far from them, but it was this way alone that you were able to protect them. You wake. As you do, you see Sariel twitching in her sleep. Sariel.
Oh my god!
You good, buddy?
In your dream, you are Sayanine Moonweaver. You are running through a moonlit field, long grass biting at your ankles as your feet thunder against the ground. Your heart is pounding as you realize you are fleeing, as though hunted, not a hunter. The moon turns blood red as you race through a vast void of land, filled with floating shards of sundered places, long strands of silvery spiderweb stretching between them. Swarms of long-legged insects fill the air and crawl across every blackened stone surface. Around your feet, hundreds of snakes slither over one another like a living, writhing blanket, wrapping around your ankles like shackles, trying to trip you. Suddenly an arrow is shot that strikes you in the side, and another in your shoulder. You immediately feel pain spread like ink in water through your body, slowing your movements until you're forced to stop, kneel, and look around yourself. The whole world has turned crimson. The colour reflects off every surface, shimmering over the surface of water that you realise you're now walking out into. It drenches your clothes, leaving you stained with blood, as you sink beneath the surface and stare up through the refracted waves at the blood moon. Then, hundreds of pale hands with long, sharp grey nails grab at you from the depth, wrapping around your limbs and dragging you deeper. You try to scream, but fingers cover your mouth and you taste blood, suddenly aware it's spilling out of your lips and filling the water until it's too thick for you to breathe. You surface suddenly up onto a shore, gasping for breath. You look up at the pebble beach and you see Cassian and Astra ahead of you, walking side by side. You scramble out onto the shoreline and you run to join them, falling into line, sinking into acceptance that the three of you have a long journey ahead. Astra, just moments after you wake, Sariel sits bolt upright. It's only seconds later that Vanden wakes up with a start. His wings erupt out of his back as he scrambles up to his feet, shredding through his sleep shirt, and his eyes glowing a bright topaz in the dark. His face looks serious, but distant, almost as though he's still dreaming as he stares off to the west.
Vanden.
When he speaks, it's urgent and determined and in celestial. We have to move now. Now.
Now.
And then he drops down to his knees again, shaking. His eyes lose their glow. We have to go. We have to go right now.
She'll crawl towards him to try and, like, reach out for his hands.
Cassian, with the disturbance, you find yourself waking to your three friends, waking violently from dreams. You hear the string of celestial out of Vanden's mouth.
What is going on?
We have to go.
Still in celestial?
We have to go west.
What's he saying?
We have to go west. Right now.
He's gonna start grabbing at his things. Doesn't even touch your hand. Starts rolling them up and stuffing them into his
Yeah,
bag.
she'll do the same thing.
He tears off the remains of his sleep shirt and starts pulling on his jacket and his armour. We should get the ship, or I don't know, maybe we should abandon the ship.
Do I have an inkling as to where we need to go, or like...
Not at all.
If we need to go west, we might as well just keep it on us. It's not going to weigh us down.
We're still at the docks.
We've got more ships.
You're right. Okay, let's go.
Did I have the 4 hours long enough to get long rest?
Yes.
Oh, thank God.
I'm still going to roll for my inspiration from my bed. It's 5, I don't get it.
It's just enough time that everybody gets a long rest.
Cool.
As you went to bed a little early. Vanden doesn't wait for you to finish packing up as he starts moving towards the edge of the forest.
Just wait a minute! Give us a second to gather everything up again. And join him. Just giving him a look, like a...
It's just something is coming and I have to be there before the sun rises.
I know. Like, without verbalizing it, like trying to see if their dreams have matched up in any way, because like knowing that the three of them were in her dream but not Vanden is like, do you know something? Like, I don't know, like an insight sort of look at him, or I don't know.
You're making this like
19.
You look at him and there's no return look in his face to suggest that he has any idea what you're trying to put across.
Okay. She won't say anything about it then.
More dreams? Oh, you too?
And me. Then we have to go now. you leave Melora's Wood before the sun rises. Everyone else left sleeping in their bedrolls and their tents in the dark. You make your way out towards the Western Approach Road, and Vanden just turns away from the town and keeps walking. He just starts moving down the road as if he's got some idea of where he needs to be with no real heading, as if he's following a feeling. He's pretty quiet as you march ahead, although the three of you are free to talk if you want to.
Can't really say anything. Like, the words don't come. It's just a desperation.
Cassian's like looking at everyone for some kind of answer, but seeing people's faces is just nodding and marching ahead.
You keep going for maybe 3 miles in the dark like this at a fast pace. The sun hasn't yet crested the horizon still, and Vanden suddenly turns off the road and starts walking into the wilderness.
Just follow him.
He goes on this way until the very, very first rays of the dawn light start creeping up behind you, and he just stops once you reach the edge of a field. It's just a sort of wide spread of wild grass with rocky outcrops throughout it, swaying in the breeze, and he just stops there and stares. I guess I just wait.
For what?
I don't know. I had to come now.
Is there anything happening? Like, can we see or, like, sense anything?
The group of you stand there in near silence. You notice idly that there's no morning birdsong as the sun starts to creep up. Just the sound of the wind blowing through the long grass. And your own breathing, the thudding of your hearts as you wait with bated breath until a strange shimmer starts to spread before your eyes, like the world fracturing piece by piece into a shadow. You watch this bizarre anomaly grow larger until it touches the cold earth beneath your feet and looks as though it's trying to reach up for the sky. You swear as you stare into it that you see the shapes of craggy mountainous peaks and the spires of buildings not apparent in the landscape around you. Shadows in a darkened place that look wholly unlike your own. Sariel, you think you recognize glimpses of what you saw in your divination ritual yesterday. Wisps of black lick around the edges of the anomaly as the images grow clearer and clearer until you can make out the vague form of a figure, armoured and large and definitely injured, moving towards you at speed, clutching something in their arms. And that is where we'll end this chapter.
No! Keep going!
Everybody be having dreams, what the fuck?
Roll initiative.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you for stress.
Oh,
Good
that's okay.
God!
You know me, I just love to give you a little bit of stress.
Mm-hmm. A little bit of stress.
Just peppering in a little bit of stress. Now for something completely different, I would like to thank Emily H. for her fan creation included in this chapter, Shifra, the half-elf baker.
Yeah!
Oh, thank you very much, Emily. And thank you guys so much for playing.
Thank you for DMing!
I hope you've all enjoyed this wild ride of twists and turns.
Sure has.
Not having a clue what's going on most of the time. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you for DMing.
Thank you, dear.
Thank you.
I love you.
And until next time, we are nyxrising, and we love you. Bye!
Bye!
An official inauguration of the next late Lord of Firesse will follow the funeral of Lord Richard. Richard?
Richard!
I'm just gonna do this again.
Richard Ron!
Hello friends, it's Cassian. Thank you for joining us through the enticing mysteries of A Merchant's Revenge, and join us next week for a brand new chapter in our adventure. If you want to support the party's adventures, you can do so at patreon.com/nyxrising, or grab yourself some merch at our Teespring store. And special thank yous as always to our executive producers, Alexandra Johnson, Liam Moran, Mason Scott, Meghan Charles, Benedict Allen, Adira A, Katie B, Emily Hogarth, Lissa, and Caitlin Ferguson. Until next time, don't forget to be proud of all that you are, and we'll see you on Wednesday.